So the other thing they put in, we'll go ahead and go through the rest of the patch notes, and then we'll get into the buffs and nerfs. And we'll talk some team stuff. Other patch notes, here we go. So we have the raid buff, sort of. Technically, it goes to everything, but if you have 3 of a single unit, the unit that it has advantage against will gain reduced damage. If you have 4, it'll go up by 2% to 7%, and I didn't say the base is 5%. So we guessed right on the base. And then it would go up to 7%, then 8%, and then if you had a full team of 6, just because it just says from then on, so I'm assuming that would be 9% at that point. Yeah, this isn't much at all. This pretty much doesn't really exist. Like, I don't know if
exactly what they said, right?
They should have did double digits at least.
Yeah, like the
You remember what they you remember what they said about the front line is gonna literally turn around for the raid?
Yeah, they want to have a choice to have either you break the front line and have multiple generals go after the raid, or hold the front line and risk losing your support. And it's like,
it's not gonna happen.
This percentage doesn't do anything for that. The
it's pretty much the same as it's ever been.
Yeah, the maneuver armor stuff is more than. Well, the problem is because this is multiplicative stacking reduction, which at that point 5% does pretty much nothing. Like, yeah, it's
like how we rib at the body buffers for being so low, and even those start in like the double digits in some cases.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, there's now these might stack additively. Some speculation is these might stack additively with the reductions to the type.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, you're being like risky on purpose just to try to game the reduction, and at that point, you're already at a disadvantage. You really shouldn't have that many of anything to begin with. This is just for when you're in like pubs and people are being stupid.
Well, I mean
it really is.
The enhancement stuff though that gives you plus 5%. So if you have like if it's a 6v6 and there's 4 generals, then that might actually stack to be 12%. So if you have let's say you have 38 melee res or something as a raid, then you have so that reduces. Then you take that value, reduce it by the say you have a buffer of 15%. Then you reduce that. Then you reduce it by, and again, say you fully enhance. So you have, there's very few that have it, but you have resistance against generals. Then that might be another 12%. But the problem is since it's multiplicative like that, it's cool story, bro. Like you're not doing much even with 12 at that point.
Yeah, it's not a huge change that people thought, oh, supports are dead. Nah, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's not that
Everybody
serious.
was saying that. I was telling them, like, it's not going to be that serious. Like, nothing's going to change. The team
Raid still at their tax. This is just like a refund. It's a very small one.
But you probably won't see much of a change in team comps, if any at all.
Oh no. Literally, I went in with we were gonna do an all general and one support, and then I switched because I noticed we didn't have a raid. The fucking I think it was the O on our team literally just sat there for a second, and I was like, really? And then just like readied up. So, yeah, that mentality is never gonna change.
Yeah, that's still an issue. And then also, I mean, yesterday though, I'm just wondering if it lasts, because yesterday I was seeing actually a lot of 2 raid comps popping up, and it wasn't even the new suits though. Is the thing. So it's like
they just want to try the buff in it, basically.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just people trying it, or but I could see some people trying to move away and do just a 2 support comp as more of a meta team comp build. But
more fuel for the raids.
no. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool. There's a little bit of a buff, but not. Yeah, that hardly does anything. I feel like their first iteration though, probably in their in-house testing, was like 5, 10, 15, 20.
And like, this raid basically feels like fighting a general. Well, as a general, basically type neutral.
Yeah, they were probably like,
We
maybe,
thought that's what it
maybe
was
not.
gonna be, right? Like they're just gonna take it to an
They
extreme
hinted
and then
at it.
maybe gear it back, and like
Yeah,
that would have been good.
They kind of thought, because to say that the front line is literally going to turn back to fight the raid, like, come on now.
Yeah,
It
that's a
had
pretty
to be
bold
something like that,
statement.
right?
Yeah, that's a really bold statement.
Because the extra buffer doesn't change the type, like, advantages or anything like that. Like, it's not neutralizing those literally.
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, anything else on that? If not, we can go ahead and move on.
Give raid more buffs.
Yeah, but he
No.
said,
No.
I agree.
Death to the
Buff them
raids.
harder. We need another overhaul
Nerf raids.
right now.
Nerf raids. Death
Buff,
to raids.
buff, buff.
I definitely am not support bias here at all.
Buff raids and nerf supports.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Support players aren't supposed to have fun.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I saw a post here the other
We must
day of
curb
just
their
somebody being
hubris.
like, so is support just not supposed to do anything? And I was just like, oh no, dude, no. If you just said that, I was like,
just sit there and shoot, bro.
hey, that's what I do, man. Intensify, yeah. Pew
Yeah,
pew.
man.
People want to zoom around and smack shit and all that stuff, though. Like, it doesn't really cater itself well in a lot of cases. People are like, this sucks. But, like,
They want everything to be a C1, like, basically.
I just wanna beam vomit like the game mock. I wanted that to be the actually we could talk about that a little bit if you wanted a slight tangent here. The mass production cubulate, I wanted more funnels, like I wanted
oh
just
my
to
god, yeah.
funnel vomit on stuff.
Wow, you're gonna make the thing OP, man. If it
Well,
gets
I
more
mean
funnels.
rebalance
I was
it a
gonna
little
say,
bit, but
he's like he likes the MP as it is. He's actually got pretty strong on the video. I saw your stuff when you
Yeah.
posted that.
Yeah, like, because obviously we took it in the clan matches. We actually took 2 of them, and did really well with it. We placed 8th in that clan match overall.
yeah, the
So
CC chaining is
yeah,
strong.
it's yeah, just being able to basically crowd control with the 2 instant stun weapons, and then just shoot your funnels out, go ham with the funnels. You can literally melt a single target or spread your stuns about and just like basically do damage, like spread damage, type of thing. So it's the only problem about it is obviously it's hard for it to defend itself. But like like I was saying to you before, Magnum, like when you have a good team, that's not a problem. And that suit definitely is disgusting once you've mastered it as well.
Yeah, we can definitely get into more of the team thing here in a little bit when we get to that. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things, like the self-sufficiency thing. That's one thing we talk about when we look at suits a lot, is especially generals for the most part, but then supports as well. Just being able to negate. That's why it was like the shield thing on the new suit with the space type Nightseeker. like that not getting staggered, and it can prevent a stagger every now and then. Like that is, for me, that's huge because I'm coming at that from a support mentality. Like anytime
That
that's a
is
thing,
huge. That
yeah,
is huge.
and like that's its weakness. But I mean, if positioning is gonna always be key as a support player, and if you have good positioning and the team is at least just doing bare minimal stuff, and you can follow up and you can burst down. Like I think it's the best space ace suit that we have for supports right now for sure, and I really like it in ace matches. Like I'll try not to be the ace just so I can see the enemy ace and just burst them down.
Yeah,
I just pretty much play
I can see
assassin
that.
support at that point. But yeah, anyway, but we've already talked about the AMBAC stuff that they added to everything. We didn't really go on how cool that is, but it's just funny that they said space is gonna be fun. Yeah, believe it.
It's gonna be oh god, it's gonna be a grand old time.
Yeah, make space battles even more fun. Even more fun. Oh my god.
Even more. Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
trying to
gosh.
push it.
More fun.
They're already the best.
Oh no.
It's even more fun
Surely
for me, at least.
you're missing out if you're not playing the space matches.
I mean, I love space. I love getting in there, but man, as far as my aiming goes, it is just help.
That's the best place to actually practice your aim.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Mhm.
as much as a shooting person I am, I just hate playing with the PS4 controller. Like I know I've been saying it, but I really just need to get some extra money and just mod my own controller and just be done with it. That's what I did back in the days with Xbox. Just so I can actually have some tension, and because like there's no tension on those sticks. Like I could crush, like probably crush the entire controller with one hand. Like it's so small. Like
Magnum
I
smash.
like fitting controllers.
the original Xbox Big Chungus controller, man. There we go.
No,
So thick.
that thing
No,
is
that thing
huge,
that
bro.
thing was dumb. But I mean that
that was
fit.
a brick.
I mean that fit in my hands though. It worked.
I mean, like I got pretty big hands. Like I'm like 6 foot. Like I don't like those big. I don't like Xbox controllers at all. Like the Xbox 360 is okay, but I still don't even like those.
Oh really?
PS4 controllers just fit snug, and I can just press. I can get to every button on the controller a
See,
lot easier.
my favorite is the 360 controllers. I even like the regular Xbox after Big Chungus happened when they shrunk them down.
Oh, the S. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's I don't know. For me, that's pretty much the controller I've been like promoting since, just because. But yeah, I kind of want to check out the PS5 controllers because they're apparently a little bit bigger, which that's pretty much what I'm wanting, is just something a little more.
Yeah, Emblem, how they been?
Yeah, Emblem.
Man.
You and your frames
I'm
over
assuming
there.
that means good. Yeah. God damn it.
Man.
Man.
Feels good, man.
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 Okay.
Man. Unless you're in jungle, everything is pain in jungle.
Oh god.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I still see it like chugging there, and I'm like, damn, dude, fucking jungle. Optimize this shit.
oh, I hate when I get in the water and there's just a lot of stuff going on, and it's just like, okay, well, we're in slideshow mode. I am dead. I'm just gonna go get a drink. I'll be back. But yeah, and back on everything, really cool. Oh, I think you were lagged out when we talked about the Saikamu. What do you think about the Saikamu not getting it?
Well, that's one of the suits that I actually play a lot. That and the Bishop, and the Xeon. I played a. Those were like literally one of my favorite suits to play with in space. So I don't have a problem with it because I feel like it would be like OP if it did get am back, because that like it requires some skill, and I feel like that's where it should be. And if you dumb it down a little bit, give it am back, it'll wreck everything. Like I do believe it, because like just being able to stun something in 2 shots and not do your hammer down downswing and just do like 6 to 7K to the support. Do you want it to have am back? I don't think you want to have. I
I mean, if
don't
someone
think
likes to
you
play
want that
raids,
thing to
hell
have
yeah,
am
I
back.
He
do.
probably
Hell
doesn't,
yeah,
but
dude.
I sure as fuck do.
Well, yeah, I guess, but like,
Yeah,
I don't
I don't want that. But also, I was wondering if like, I mean, I guess people will adjust, but I was wondering if like the AMBAC might mess with how, like, if somebody, they might have put it on it and then someone was just like, I don't like this, so then they just didn't. But
Made it over, yeah.
it would make it OP. It would literally make it OP.
But yeah, when you just mentioned the shooting part, because that's really what AMBAC, like, that's what's crazy with like the Psycho Zaku and stuff, like just being able to boost, and then as soon as you're like let off boost, you can just essentially fire the bazookas immediately, and got such immediate fire in space. That's what's really ridiculous compared to playing it. Like, it's kind of funny when you get used to playing in space a little bit. You want things to fire faster on ground, because as soon as you release boost, you're like shoot, and then on ground you're like, hang on a sec, now I'm firing. I don't know, it's just weird. But
Yeah, you gotta wait, right?
AMBAC things.
Yeah.
Also the but yeah, if we don't have anything else for AMBAC stuff, then they changed it so, which we just showed that well, we actually didn't just have 3, but you can go to odd numbers of people in brawl matches, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was needed for sure.
For real.
It's weird that they didn't have it out of the gate.
Then they now show the HP gauge of the top 3 on the left side, which is amazing.
That's a nice adjustment. I think it'll help with targeting priority.
Yep.
And
just you in the background. Why are you still shooting me?
Why are you still shooting?
Yeah, like he's first place at like 1 health. What are you doing?
Dude, like 2 weeks from now, we're gonna play Brawl, and then I'm just gonna clip this. I think that'll help with targeting priority. Like 2 weeks from now, you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, the first, second, and third have no health. Why are you shooting me?" I'm just gonna like clip
That's
both
never
of those.
gonna go away.
I'm just gonna clip
I mean,
both
part
of
of
those.
that's just fight the streamer. Like.
Help is a big, like, maybe it'll get better. You used to have kids who'd be like, I see opponent, kill.
Must destroy.
Which still might be the way to go in that game. Just like killing.
Yeah, it seems like they just encourage you to keep fighting. Like I know you can kind of curate it and just kind of get in there at the end, but at the same time you're gonna have a bunch of other people scrambling to do the same thing. So
yeah, like I do the assist thing. I go for like 4th and 5th place. I try to get a couple of kills on just not the top people, and then I get a lot of assists as a support. And then right at the end, I'm like, fire everything, and then hopefully just come out on top.
Yeah, bro is just like, still kills, man. That was literally the name of the game.
I forget who it was, but someone actually retroactively got first, not through directly like killing people, but just fighting a bunch of people, because like when they started killing each other, he was already like in the top 3, and he just got a bunch of assist points and like maintained first towards the end.
That's awesome.
Oh, I know what it was. It's fucking Korez.
Oh
Korez
yeah,
did that shit on City Ruins.
City Ruins. Yeah, I remember that one. Let's go. But yeah, moving on through the rest of the patch notes, though, we have base camp now. When they do the GBO days, or when there's free spins, which will probably be anniversary stuff for 10 spins, it'll be like, hey, there's a free spin over here. There'll be a marker above the normal symbol, being like, yo, get your free stuff.
That's nice.
That's really cool. Then we have premium login bonus
Tis nice.
stuff, which is kind of interesting. I'm really sad because I saw the order and I was like, please tell me that's the Shiki 0 at the end. But no, Shiki 0, level 1 is the first section of the month. Then we have the GM3 level 1, which I also want. That's second section of the month. And then we have the GPO4. The picture shows level 2. The text shows level 1. I'm pretty sure the level 2's in the the level 1's in the DP store. So I'm pretty sure this is the level 2. But the one that you potentially can get for free is the level 2 GPO4. I'm going to go with that because that's in the picture. And yeah. That's pretty yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Apparently I disconnected.
Oh no.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm about it.
Shiki 0 is pretty strong. I can see some people wailing for that. They don't have it. And the oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Zero Shiki, yeah. It's definitely a strong suit. Still strong.
Then we have the ticket shop gaining the Hyzak custom level 3, the Gelgoog high mobility type level 4, and the Bolinoak level 1 and 2. And I mean, personally, what do you guys think about the Hyzak and the Gelgoog? At that point, I feel like they're kind of falling off, unless you just really like the Hyzak custom. Probably not something I would spend tickets on. Luckily, it's 2-star, so it's, I'd say, probably close to 200-ish tickets. I know the Bolinoak is 180 for the level 1 I don't have.
Yeah, Bolinoak and his
custom
base
is still
cost is okay.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hyzak custom is still powerful at that level. You can make it very tanky.
Yeah,
I've definitely made use of it at that cost.
I think that's the
Especially
one I had.
for that heavy stagger in the output.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's strong, man. It's definitely strong.
If you don't have
I don't
something,
really value Hyzak custom personally, but I don't play supports either. I just see it as something that, for the most part, pops a shot every now and then, and just kind of gets bullied.
Yeah, anything with a heavy stagger is kind of a game changer, to be fair. Especially when the team is actually coordinated. If you're a raid and you get heavy staggered, you're dead. You know.
Oh, for sure. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like those coordinated matches don't happen all that much. I've never really had, and it should be objective about the suit itself. Like, it is a strong tool. I don't know. I've just never felt that it's been like super relevant for the suit itself. Like maybe if you're in a situation where you're hitting most of your shots and stuff like that, good follow-ups and stuff like that.
I think it's also that mentality of like pubs versus like actual team play for like plans and stuff too when we talk about things like that.
Yeah, we'll get into that topic here in a second because that's that's pretty much the big thing. So I guess in that case, would you recommend people, or how would you recommend people spend their tickets with the Bolinoak or the Hyzak custom? And I would say the Gelgoog, unless you're just a Gelgoog high mobility type, new type, I can't really recommend that one.
That high mobility type is actually strong now, dude. Like the double dodge, like that's pretty good, but you know, at 600 cost, probably not.
Yeah, that's 450. It's insane though. I love it at 450.
I mean, it is beefy though. Can't even knock that. It is pretty beefy. Like people will use it. It's still got a good toolkit, even at 600 cost. But obviously, there are a lot of better suits.
I just wish it had a little bit more melee defense.
I mean, like it's super fast, man. 135 movement and 225 top speed. Like double dodge. you can build it really tanky as well.
Solid
So-
shields, got a lot of ballistic output.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love its MMP80. Let's go.
It definitely could do work if you're into the suit.
Yeah, I like my Goku.
You should buy it and give it a try, bro.
Oh no, I have it. I have the level 5. I've went in there with the
Oh, you
650
got
one.
it. I'll feel it. I'll feel it.
I definitely get
Yeah,
in there
it's,
with it, but as far as like for somebody spending tickets, if they had like 300 right now or something, I don't think I could recommend it for a ticket spend. I'd say wait till it gets put in the DP store.
Yeah, I wouldn't. To be
I
fair,
agree.
like, well, me personally, I wouldn't buy any of these. And if I was new, I wouldn't buy any of these anyway.
Yeah.
I'd just, get the lower cost versions in the DP basically.
And then
See if you like them. You know?
hopefully the Bolinoak will hit the DP store soonish, But it's an interesting suit, especially after they did the raid changes, though. I don't know if you've played too much of the Bolinoak recently, but that damage control plus maneuver armor
Yeah.
2, you can pretty much go through just about anything. Like you gotta have like 200 and something % just to even think
Mhm.
about staggering this thing.
Yeah, I did play it quite a bit when it first came out and stuff. It's sad that they actually nerfed the beam rifle. Like, I can't believe they did that. Said it wasn't intentional. Like, come on, bro. What are you doing?
I got scared that they were doing the same thing to the Char Dija when I got down to the fixes. I was like, what is this saying? But no, it's just a description thing.
It's just funny they did that, and then the Jar came out like a week or two later, and it did the exact same thing. It was like working as intended. Like, come on, dude.
And the RJ's got a dodge roll and everything, right? So, I mean, it probably would have even hurt the Bolinock. It wouldn't hurt any other suit to give the Bolinock its 2-stun beam rifle back. It wouldn't really hurt anything, really.
Yeah.
It'll be strong.
Like Jar has a smaller hitbox, like similar kit, similar output. Like it doesn't even make any sense, but it doesn't have false beacon. Oh man,
that false beacon is OP, dude.
Gotta
Strongest
get that
mechanic in
bacon.
the game.
It is pretty nice if like someone actually drops on you and you just like melee and everything that stuns because you can't get stunned. It's pretty cool. Right, that's a more of a team thing to really coordinate that.
But yeah, anything else with the ticket shop stuff?
Don't get any of them.
Pretty much. Save your tickets.
Save your tickets.
Get more useful things with those.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they come out with an OP part at anniversary.
They definitely probably will.
Oh yeah.
They'll come out to Psycho Frame.
Oh no. Oh, no.
Oh god.
Takes up all the slots.
Just gives every suit that it has a biosensor, essentially.
Biosensor the part. Oh my gosh. Just think about that. That would be ridiculous.
Something like that would be really interesting.
They should just have exam the part at
Apparently,
this
there
point.
was something like that in the first game. I need to ask about it again, but I heard that it was like you could put an exam or something like that.
Yes,
Exam barrage.
There needs to be an exam department.
I don't know if that was actually a thing or is like people just trolling, but
Exam
I swear
barrage.
It might have
heard
been.
that.
I don't like. I know they had parts that were similar to ones we have now, and you could do stuff like I think it was supposed to be like similar to medallions or medals for your pilot. But I don't think they had anything where it like literally gave things the exam style systems in the last game. There's any maniac.
Yeah.
It would be very intensifying for an exam barrage.
Go DM Rob real quick, Magnum.
Yeah, there we
go. He'd know. Oh, Maniac's not streaming either. It's kind of bored.
Well, I had someone say that before, back in the day. I was like, really? Okay.
But yeah, then we have in the DP store the Yogu High Mobility Type Yuma Lightning Level 2. Very solid suit. I'm a big fan of that one. And the GM2, all 3 levels with all 3 levels of the gun. Yeah. Which was
That's
that
actually
the rank
go
suit?
on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and I was like, not exactly. I was like, was it? Because I've got it, and I was like, I was like, did I just weapon shop it, or did I actually get it from the rank? But yeah.
It was a rank suit.
But it's finally in. That's pretty cool.
I think
It's a 1-star, so I guess it's. Do we know the? Here, I can look the rank required. Yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
I'm trying to remember think if it was a limited time or a ranked. And I can't actually remember. It's been so long.
I
But I
mean that
remember
was the.
getting all the levels of it.
That's where
When
we
it
were
first.
confused. Was it limited or ranked?
I don't actually remember. It's so long ago.
Oh, hey, this is nice, actually, guys. Lance Corporal level 1. Hit that pretty much in a day now with the way it works. So you have a 300,
That's a yeah, man.
350
It's a
Lance
good
Corporal
suit.
1, and the 400 is Corporal. Yeah, you could pretty much get
Corporal.
all 3 of these in a day. That's nice.
It's a strong suit at 300, man, for sure.
Kind of cool.
350 is not bad. 400, maybe not now. Like back in the day, it was actually. I actually made a video about that. I actually did pretty well with the 400. But the level 1 on my days, like I'm pretty sure I did like over 100k damage with it with the level 1
Nice.
back in the day. Like
Yeah,
it
it was nice
pretty
too. It introduced instant stagger beam rifles into the
Yeah,
300 cost as well. It was
Yeah, that was
really
big.
nice.
yeah. It's
And
the only one that has it.
then we have the Yuma Lightning being Lieutenant 1. Come on. They need to really crunch the rank requirement. They got rid of it on the parts. Like, come on. At least crunch it for the suits.
The level 1 is ensign.
Yeah, it's still kind of insane for any new player to even think about getting. I mean, it's you could do it now in your first week, but you literally have to know life the game.
Yeah.
But then if you wherever like if you didn't get to like at least you know close to ensign, like it takes forever once your first week is up because that's a 5 times bonus for everything.
It's a good suit. It's fun.
Then we are now out of brawl match, just existing in quick match, and it'll be shuffled in the rotation of 4 different modes now when they do weekend battles. The fixes to the suits, the funniest one, and I don't know if you guys saw anything too interesting here. I'll kind of have them on screen, but the Z2 main weapon, the shrapnel times 2, had different power values for the left and the right side when launched with a different unit and main weapon level.
Interesting.
What? So
My
So
right
level one
bazooka is
had-
stronger than my left bazooka.
Yeah, that's interesting.
This is lopsided damage.
That's
Fucking
relevant
weird.
whenever you're at level 1, though, even if it's just a little bit more damage.
So that
Assuming it
being
works
fixed
through
is
both.
actually gonna be more consistent, yeah.
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 And actually buff out the big damage that it can do.
And apparently it wasn't described well enough on the Shar Dija that charging up will cause a knee stagger, and you lose all your residual ammo. So
Well, so they just change the
So people
description.
don't test their suits and just like, hey, what?
then they had some random fixes for, pilots fitting through gaps and mobile suits fitting through gaps on certain maps. Nothing else too crazy popped out to me. Then we have land stuff. So, clicked on the wrong one, but it is what 500 6v6 Space Fortress Interior Basic, and this is not till next weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing what we'll see is Wednesday we'll get a new clan rank suit, probably.
I can't wait to see what that is. To be honest.
I still want to get the high mo. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I mean, if that's the case, then like it's kind of a bummer that what is it? The next simple battle like evening match is gonna just be like a top 3
Top
essentially.
3, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that means that like
you can make it.
by the time we get to the next one, it'll actually still be in the same rotation. Yeah, I'm pretty much expecting GCH and like Gecko and shit to be in there.
So we can talk more about clan match stuff when we get to the team thing, I guess. The next topic is buffs and nerfs. But I'll definitely pull
let's
up
get
the
into it.
clan match stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We'll go through these pretty quick.
Shotgun it.
If anything pops out for the stuff that happened last time, go ahead and interrupt me, stop me, be like, "Yo, that's cool," or "That makes no sense. Bryson needs another nerf."
I mean, preemptively, let's just nerf Dryson again, just to make people less angry.
Bryson
So-
didn't even
Bryson's
get
fine.
Dryson
Had
had 54% win rate with a 50 average at its base cost. Now it's 52. And the damage taken actually went up, probably because since they nerfed the health, everybody put more tanky parts on it because it really didn't need it to begin with.
hit it more.
And yeah, now
That's how you do it.
yeah, so now that's probably why it's taking more damage than what it did. Then we have. Oh wait, hang on a sec. No. Am I reading this wrong? Oh, it went down. Okay, but it's saying it went up. That it's a.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what they're saying here. That's weird. But anyway, yeah. So instead of taking 73,000 damage a game, it's taking 71,000, and then at level 2, 75,000 to 73. But dealt more damage at level 2 for some reason. People getting in there, but again, the win rate still 2% at least over average, where 650 is just barely under average at 0.8. So I guess, what would you say they need to do to it to kind of nerf it more?
Just maybe slightly reduce his damage.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even
Yeah.
if they just alternate the or change the multipliers on some of the swings.
The idea of the suit is just to crowd control, really, right? So if they just reduce the damage, it's still gonna do what it does best, but it's just to do less damage. Won't be too crazy.
Yeah, it's just like I've talked about this on stream a few times, and people kind of lean in towards the output on the suit as to whether or not it's good or not. But in a game like this where suits have roles, like damage isn't always end all be all. It's more about like, filling to your role. And they could probably take away some of that, and the dry suit would still be like a damn good frontline general, just in regards to being able to create those pseudo knock, like those pseudo down situations. Create a 4.5 instead of a 5v5 or whatever.
Which is why I'm gonna complain about
Yeah.
another suit that got buffed this patch. Why? But anyway.
Oh no.
But yeah. Anything else on the Dryson?
That's
Nerf
fine.
it again.
There we go. Okay, so the gotcha, pretty much everything went up as expected. Nothing too crazy here. Funny enough, the base one is the only thing that's not above average for win rate. So 350 cost. Comfer, actually, I forgot that this thing got buffed until I started seeing it getting played more.
Yeah.
Level 2 got hardly any health though, but level 1 doing pretty good, but they both are now above average on win rate. I don't know if it was so much just this is why I wish they would put play rate on it, because yeah, it's I feel like just people played it more because it's, it's good,
I
and
got touched on.
yeah, and so they're like, "Oh my gosh." And of course it's winning because yeah. So level 1 and 2 definitely got bit better, and damage went up for the level 3 and 4 because of the reload time. Other than that, what's this? G-Line standard, everything went up as expected. The raid types, we have the Doulahan going down. The main thing here is the play rate went down to 17.9% from 35%, but it's still above average win rate. It's still above average, way above average, still on rival win rate. And I wouldn't say way, but it's didn't even go down. It went down 5%, and it's still like
It's still strong.
7, almost 8% higher than the average rival win rate. Then damage dealt went down. I don't think they hit damage. Okay, well, we don't really care about the damage too much, but the loss of the suit though is still better than average at 3.1 compared to 3.6. But that definitely got hit, the health nerf. I have to say I agree with you guys on when we talked about it last. I think they should have been bringing other raids up rather than bringing this one down. Especially looking at stuff like the good flight type and a few things like that.
I don't think they should have nerfed the HP. Maybe not as much as they did.
Right.
The damage control taken away. I mean, that doesn't really hurt the suit too much, really. It's got a big shield, so doesn't really need to worry about being stunned. I mean, it's at low cost as well, right? So it's not like a lot of suits.
I don't know. I personally think having a big shield is more of a reason to have skills like damage control.
Because it's just more surface area to hit. Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, damage control, I feel like at that cost, I'd have to look to see what. Well, I guess there is a few things.
I mean, maybe from 2 to 1, but yeah, it doesn't really change the way it actually plays.
Well, I mean, like if I'm playing the high gog, I can just shoot the shield now and stun you, and then come flappy hand you at that point, because it's so easy to hit with just the beams. I can just shoot the beams at you. Before with damage control, I wouldn't. I think if I missed one, that I can't stagger you actually. So it's one of those things where there's certain suits that, with damage control 1, if unless you hit with everything, you're not gonna get the stagger.
It does have the big shield, so even if you do manage to melee, you might just hit the shield and not even do damage to it anyway. So,
Well, I mean, just getting the initial stagger though, so that I can knock you down or take you out of the fight for a second, or even just get some bully on, is just my main thing with the damage control part. But
yeah,
I mean, it only affects certain suits. It's kind of like with the Dovin Wolf, right? But the difference with the Dovin Wolf is it straight up has shock dampener. So
yeah, Dovin Wolf didn't even get hurt by that nerf.
no, it's like everything that was gonna stagger it was already gonna stagger it. Pretty much just helped, I guess, the Tristan a little bit. Then we have the Gaz L. As expected, it went up for the buffs. The Gundam Unit 5 BST going up as well, with the damage going up, level 2 specifically from that buff. Desert Gelgoog going up on everything. That was a really nice buff. And the GBO2 Beam Bazooka gaining some nice win rate and everything across the board. That thing feels great. I love it. Still a little weak though at 650. But definitely close to the average win rate. And then Full Armor Gundam Type B. I was kind of hoping to see this improve a little bit more, but it's still below average in every cost. But that definitely
There's
feels
not
a lot
enough
better.
different.
Yeah, it needs a little bit more, but it definitely feels a whole lot better. Like just being able to stagger with the missile launcher is amazing.
I guess one thing that I wonder if they take into consideration too is like obtaining rate and like how many people actually have the suit, as opposed to how many people actually run it too. Because it may be that like people have it, but they're getting other suits that are just like better in general, and pushing it too much might just be like, well, you might as well just play something else that they're trying to like match this to.
Got Modrock and Detector at 500, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's like we were talking about at 650 how they seem to push one mechanic on each support, so that each support kind of does one thing a little bit better than others. But I mean, at the lower stuff, it's just do damage, do things, get your DC on.
Big pew pew. The funny thing is that when they did the whole micro missile change, it seemed like what they wanted is that it was just going to be better at doing stuff while firing on the move, since the other things are having to like stay still for most of their shit, especially when it came to just the burst and like splash damage. But it still has the cannon, right? And it has to do in between all that, so it can't completely ignore it. Not to mention the big missile is still, it's better than it was, but you still have to like line yourself up for it and like find good opportunities.
Before you needed to like really lead the target with that thing, man.
You had to just shotgun them and take a knee with them at that point before. Otherwise, like you could shoot it and they could like fly beside it and look at it and then fly, take a circle around the missile and be like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," and then run away. It's so slow. But anyway, so the full buffs and nerfs for this month, though, and this is why what we said with the Dryson, suits that you get in their front line, do some disrupting and have crazy long reach with the like beam lance thing. The Zeta Gundam got a buff. No, gaining
Let's go.
1,000 health, 5% melee damage. The reload speed of the arm grenade launcher went up to 8 seconds, or I guess went down to 8 seconds. So from 10 to 8. So that's a buff there. And then level 2 gained 75 damage per grenade.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about it. The rest of it is whatever. The 5 melee damage, that ain't really nothing. Really, it's the grenades. That's the huge thing. I mean, the extra HP is also cool, but the grenades is where you're gonna see that suit do a little bit more damage, a little bit more consistently. Because I was taking it out earlier, and it feels so nice, man, to be shooting that that grenade a lot more often. Definitely.
Well,
I don't know if it really needed the buff, but I guess a lot of people, they haven't played over 1,000 sorties with it, so yeah. Maybe they're struggling a little bit with it.
The loss actually seems to be better than the average, so I don't know why they buff that, because people are dying less than normal, the average, so it got a defense buff. That was kind of odd. Now the damage, I could see that maybe for the level 2 arm grenade thing, but as far as just like the melee damage going up as well, I mean, it's not much, but it's still something on a suit that is one of the best disrupting suits at 600 cost, other than maybe the Dryson. So like you got such a reach to just knock over 3 people if you wanted to, the right situation.
One of them's a
So,
bad guy, and 2 of them are your teammates. Though, right?
Yeah, right. There you go.
see with that buff, like with my build, I have a pretty crazy build that I run with 60 melee strength on it. So it obviously went up to 65. So I just took away the level 2 melee part and just whack on level 1 thrusters. So that's why I was it wasn't going to be. It doesn't really change much. It's basically an extra 100 damage on the sabers. So as I say, it's not really that big. We weren't going to change much of what it actually does. They just wanted to increase the damage a little bit, but the main damage is literally going to be the grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, that's 75 is pretty big.
That's the huge part of the buff.
I mean, the damage
me
done is a
see.
bit low for sure at level 2. I can see that because the 69,000 is the giggity amount of damage that they have at 650, and then it's only 57,000. So yeah, that's a bit low. But 650, everything does damage. So I can see this needing something at level 2 for sure. But I mean, I think this thing is like, again, my opinion is one of the best disrupting. Like, you want to have one on the team for sure, and now if it's doing enough damage, it's one of those things where you probably put 2, 3, kind of like what the Dryson does, right? Especially at 550.
Yeah.
It does so much damage that you'll see a full team of Drysons just going ham and trading out, knocking. One will knock over the dude, and the other ones will just smack, 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 smack. Someone's dead. Gross.
Yeah. Me personally, I didn't really have a damage problem with it. It's more of a quality of life of having an 8-second grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, that's
I
pretty big.
do a lot more. Basically stopping raids from pursuing and stuff like that. So I've got more chances of shooting grenades because that's your main accumulated stun on the suit. So it's nice to have that up a little bit more often.
Oh yeah, I'm for that buff.
And I'm glad you said that too, because I feel like that's the main reason why they buff or they changed the reload time on it. Not so much so you could push out more damage, which is always going to happen because it's ready up more, but just so you have a secondary stun that's ready. Because a lot of suits at that cost have backup stuns just by default. Where the Zeta Gundam, once you're done with your beam rifle, you have to wait 10 whole seconds to potentially have your wrist rockets ready.
And that's what they say.
Actually, you're basically you would do your bayonet shenanigans after you shot your beam rifle shots. Because I don't know if you know this, but at a certain range you cannot tackle the bayonet neutral. So that's what I'll be doing. When I've emptied all my shots and I ain't got grenades, like I'll just make sure I'm at a certain range and just give them a poke. And they try to tackle, they can't. They basically
they don't reach your body,
wait.
so they can't do the animation.
Yeah, they waste. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. They waste their tackle and do triple downswing shenanigans after that.
The other thing too, what's kind of interesting though about what they say here, they do mention to give players the opportunity to shoot again, which I mean, I'm assuming they're specifically talking about getting build up staggers with that. Probably what they mean there. But the other thing though is they're talking about increasing the damage done by fighting. Normally they mean melee at that point. So it's kind of interesting that they're talking about the damage is weak in melee.
That's
a couple of times. So
people not doing triple downswing consistently is probably what it is.
Yeah.
So that's like because that does
Zeta
a lot of damage.
So fun to play. Like you just pop off. It's so good. God forbid you can stay alive and with biosensor up long enough too.
Oh,
like
no.
you're pretty one tricky until biosensor kicks in, and then it's just like time to go to fucking Pound Town.
It's like my build has 90 melee strength and biosensor. So literally,
yeah, I have more of a defensive build.
Yeah, I do. I have that too, but like, cause I'll use this suit so many times. Like, I can survive with it. Like, I'm just in tune with the suit, sort of thing.
That biosensor's no
Um,
joke though.
I've literally been in I have a video of being in biosensor mode for 7 minutes long as the ace as well. And I was declared the ace, and they basically couldn't kill me the whole match. It was pretty disgusting.
Get in there and slap people around. I feel you though. Those are
Yeah.
really good. It's like how am I still alive?
Yeah, man. Just literally dancing around people with your double dodge roll. You or dodge roll, and then you try to melee, you tackle them. Yeah.
Whole new
Using
type
your
of.
transformation to like get out of sticky situations. Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah. Moving on though, if we don't have anything else for the Zeta, Gundam, Grandpa Gundam. It's a Gundam.
Gundam.
Gundam. Okay.
Gained 1,000 health at all levels, which is just gross. I didn't even pay attention to that till I started like looking. I was like, should I put a health? What? I've got 23,000 at level what? Like 600 cost. I've got like 23k life. Huh? Anyway, thruster increased by 5 to 60 now. Turn speed went up by 3 to 60 now. And yeah, they decided they wanted people to use the beam rifle, and they decided instead of the focusing time taking 5 seconds to differentiate it from the one with the napalm grenade launcher, they put it down to 2-second charge time, and they both have a
They should have put
cooldown
a
of 2
fire
seconds.
effect on that napalm. Should have did it.
For real. But the focusing shortening to 2 seconds is pretty crazy. You can get some, actually emblem if you have the percentage on what the charge does for the Gundam beam rifle. You can look
Yeah,
that up
1
real quick.
second. It's
But
probably like 15 or something because most beam rifles just suck in that regard. Hold on though, I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, it's gonna be low.
but
That costs anyway.
Oh, okay. So the stagger value unfocused is 5, and it goes up to 30 when you use a beam rifle charge.
oh well, it's a you can still just stagger somebody with the insta stagger shot. But what's the percentage increased damage?
Oh, you want damage increase?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, that's a super napalm. I was like, what the heck? I don't see the percentage, but the level 1 goes up from 1575 to 1890.
It's pretty
Let
nice.
me move down. Move down to the patch notes.
I mean, they didn't really increase any of the like damage when it
Oh.
focuses. They just increased so it has a 2-second cooldown and a 2-second focusing time. You can get guns out pretty quick, but you
Right.
will overheat insanely fast if you do that. So it's one of those things though that you could do beam shot into neutral hyper hammer kind of thing back and forth if you want to do it that way. Like there's some gross evil grandpa Gundam things you can do to people, which is yeah. I mean, I guess
That's
the
pretty
napalm
mad.
kind of could do that, but now you've got this that you can definitely do it with a whole lot easier. I just feel like somebody saw that video of somebody doing it with the napalm, and they were just like, "I want this on just the beam."
It's crazy that they didn't actually buff the napalm, but I guess because it's got the napalm, so it's
Yeah.
got the
It's not so much that it's like strong, but just that it's such like it's the no-brainer because of the extra stun. So
Yeah. You can do the stun and then follow up with damage a little bit easier.
It's literally the same weapon, though, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's always the funny thing in this game is when it's the same weapon, or you have 2 times the same weapon, and it's like, and then just the values are practically worse.
Reduce the napalm down to 3 seconds. focus on or something.
But
I mean, let's make the G3's secondary beam rifle be 2-second charge time. It's the same gun,
Oh,
right?
that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
That should have been a
it's
retroactive
literally
thing.
the same weapon.
for real though.
But
Also,
they did buff that though already. Didn't it?
That's
It
true.
used to be a lot higher from what it is now.
the other crazy thing is the defenses on the Grandpa go up to 23, 23, 23 at level 5 at 600 cost with 22,000 base HP. Like, and then also I don't even have it enhanced, so I could get complex expansion too. Oh
Yeah, the
man.
HP is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, the Grandpa's getting strong. He's been lifting some weights, man. He's getting pretty beefy. But so yeah. Anything else with the Grandpa?
Respect your elders.
Right? Then we have the Kapul getting a buff. Kind of interesting. The 8 missiles are going to 8 seconds reload from 10. Turn
1 second each missile.
gaining. There you go. 63. So gaining 3, going from 60 to 63. The big quality of life here, though, is increased left and right movement speed. Hallelujah. Let's go. And then the laser beam on the head has expanded ASL range. I have not seen that, and I didn't play it enough to know, to feel a difference. So I don't know. Gustav, have you tried the pool? I think you played that a bit, right?
Not yet. Not yet, since they changed it.
But kind of interesting how, I mean, after playing it a bit, I could see some of the problems, but yeah, its numbers are a bit low.
Just a little.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and continue, kind of like what we did with the last one. If anything stands out, go ahead and stop me. But Gundam ground type gaining 1,000 health at all levels, 5 to its thruster, going from 55 to 60, and then it gained enhanced tackle at level 1. And then at every level, it gains some form of increased part slots. So
Yeah, that's huge on that thing.
yeah,
To make it pretty tanky with those extra slots.
yeah. Level 5 actually got short range +4, medium +2, and long +1. So yeah, there's some definite decent changes there for what you can fit on this thing. And as far as the numbers go, it's decently well under average, especially the higher you get. Actually, it looks to be about 4% below on win rate at about everything. And damage is low. Kind of rip. But, next is the Dija SER getting another buff, specifically the level 2, which is the 650 cost. It seems to be underperforming a little bit, whereas the level 1 seems to be performing exactly at average win rate. So it gained 1,000
Makes
health at
sense.
level 2. Combat resist, which should be melee, going to 25 from 18. And it gained short or close parts, going from 11 to 13.
Yeah, the melee resistance is pretty good. They need it, yeah. Because I mean, the problem with the SCR is if it gets stunned, it's stunned forever. And yeah, it needed a bit of help. To be fair, even though it, in the right hands is really good, but yeah, it does have that weakness.
The last buff of the offense system helped, but yeah, it definitely needs a little bit more at 650.
Yeah, you got the toe the O that can easily break its damage control and stuff.
Okay, next we have the Zuda F. Turn speed went from 51 to 57. It gained melee combo control at level 1, giving it 2 melees, which is pretty big. Yeah, like this thing, like I said before, I was already when it first came out. Of course, I was hitting Ace, just shooting its main weapon, and after the first buff, I guess I should say, it was pretty quick. Where they gave it another shot, you could fire faster and a few things like that. But yeah, it's having 2 melees is huge for this thing. Like one of the biggest
It
problems.
does help.
Now you can actually do some cool comboing with Sturmfaust into melee.
It's kind of weird
popping
because
back.
I feel like Sturmfaust in a melee, because I was gonna say like its primary gun still just kind of lends well to doing the heavy into downswing. So I don't really think for most people this probably won't change much. It just has a little bit more versatility when it doesn't have to like line up its gun for anything.
Yeah, then you can
Although
follow up while reloading.
I wonder if this is a bid to have it use like what other alt weapons does it have outside of the rifle?
Because giant bazooka and the Zaku
Yeah.
bazooka.
Yeah, I feel like it almost is a bid to see if people would start using those a little bit more by comparison.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I've actually used it with the Zuka. It's actually pretty nice. Well, that was back in the day as well, around when it first came out. You could get stone fast into the Zuka pretty easily. Double stun, downswing, all that jazz.
Yeah, now you can just like do the typical bluesic stuff with it while having all that maneuverability too. Because I think for a lot of people, like the maneuverability when it just had the rifle, it was just like, oh, guess what? I can just get to you faster for the downswing. But now you can just kind of do the dance and actually do like typical general shit a little bit easier.
If you're slightly out of range, you can catch them with the neutral, I guess. That will help.
Yeah. Without having to do the big wind up.
Yeah. Because at a certain range, you know, you won't be able to get there fast enough to do the downswing, so you could probably re-stun them with the neutral before you go into the downswing. It does help. Quality of life type of thing, man.
Then we got the Red Rider getting a
Oh
buff
my
now in the
days.
raid section.
That's my boy right there.
Okay, I was kind of surprised it didn't have maneuver armor level 2. I'm terrified, man. This thing's getting a buff.
Yeah.
I don't want
Hell
to get
yeah.
I was actually
Beybladed on.
surprised with myself, but I was like, bruh, did it really need a buff? I mean,
it
okay,
got a
I'll take
I mean,
it.
it's a raid.
Yeah, but still though, it's Zweihander actually now 0.5 second for its charge time.
Hell
That's
yeah.
scary. It gains so much defense with 1,000 health at all levels. Maneuver armor 1 to 2. What? And then now it gained.
That's
I mean,
huge.
assault booster level 3. That's actually pretty big, just because now you can jump super fast on top of things, which I think it definitely needed that. But the maneuver armor and the health though is insane.
That's good, man.
I feel like this is gonna go from like 47. Like the average is 50. It's gonna go from like a 47 win rate to like 53 or something. Like this thing's gonna be terrifying because the damage done is well above average. So it's like, oh my gosh, when it's connecting, it's deleting
The
things.
thing about this suit is it's a high skill gap suit as well. Like there's a lot of high skill involved with this suit, and that a lot of players they're not gonna pick they weren't gonna pick Red Rider over Dullahan basically because Dullahan's a little bit more safer.
Yeah.
But if you obviously once you master Red Rider, it's definitely more impactful than the Dullahan. And I guess they want the lower ranks to actually thrive with the suit as well, actually pick it over the Dullahan, maybe. That's definitely going to help them. Definitely.
I wonder if maybe initially when they did the nerfs to the Dullahan, they just didn't think it was enough. And so they just like, nah, we'll just buff it directly at this point. Fuck it.
So the next one, trying to not get too overexcited here.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. My boy, yeah. Full armor Thunderbolt. Let's go.
There we go, yeah.
Woo!
That's another huge one, man. Like I was literally talking to my clan members about I basically I said 4 buffs that it should get. One was increase the damage on the twin beam. The rocket launcher shouldn't be stop the fire. Give it the Mark 5 shield skill and fix the turning speed because this thing is trash at turning.
Yeah, like
Because like my build actually before this, I used to stack level 3, level 2, and level 1 turning speed on it to make it feel like how it feels now. And now I don't have to do that. So I'm like, yes. And basically, we got 2 of the buffs that I wanted, and I'm happy with that, man. I
Well,
still
like-
feel like the rocket launcher should not be stop the fire. That's for sure.
as a support, the commit stance is as we've called it.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel it as much, so I'm kind of okay with it, especially with how space feels right now. But the thing is, the thing that I said, and I actually got them to kind of, I can't remember if we had a guest on or not, but I was like, okay, guys, so I'm gonna make this post. I'm gonna make this Reddit post. I'm gonna make this Twitter post. I'm gonna start spamming them, and so like literally, if I had the camera on, also I was dancing that entire time while I was doing this, and I was like, oh yeah, no cameras on. Oh, I'm still dancing anyway.
Mhm.
But I would like point in random directions, and if I actually did an edit, I'd be like this post, that post, this post over here, that post, that one, because I was just like adding them all the time for 2 things: a Zommel buff and a full armored Gundam Thunderbolt buff. And the thing that I was like, we need to have a skill that prevents staggers from shields. We need to have a skill like that. That was like at least 4 times, and then give us something to where it just turns faster with its shields. That's all it needs. Like you just did great with these buffs recently because I was already complaining about it, and then they buffed it. I was like, well, that's nice and all. It might need a little bit more health because it still gets stunned, but it might not need that if you just get rid of the ability for it to be stunned. Just come out with a skill, please. And then finally the Mark 5 happened, and I was like, why isn't it on the Thunderbolt? Why? So
Yeah, I remember you saying that in one of the pods.
oh my gosh, and I kept spamming at them like every 2 months for like the longest time, like pretty much last year and a little bit before then. And it was just like literally ever since, I don't know, I can't remember how much before it was, before the big raid buffs, the ones we were memeing about earlier at 500 cost raid buffs.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was spamming a little bit before then and after. And finally the 2 buffs come in. So they're here.
Yeah, man.
The 2 things I wanted them to do, they did it. We in there. Oh my gosh, I love the suit now. It's so much fun to play. Oh, it's so good.
The funny thing about it is like when they buffed the Psycho Zaku back in the day, it's like
Oh my gosh, that was such a
like
kick in the dick.
why didn't they? How did they think that the turning speed was incorrect? Like it's saying it's 78, right? But it's actually like 31.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's
but
78, but it's when you have no shields, because each shield lowers your turning speed per shield. So each
yeah,
shield
right. But
always compromises that. So that's like when the MLRS shield breaks, I'm like, someone just killed me. I can't aim my missiles to. I can't help. Please just put me out of my misery.
Became an exam.
yeah, but it's not actually what it says, right? Like basically your turning speed that what's the turning speed on that right now? It's 51, right? When your shield breaks, your turning speed is higher than 51. It's not 51 when your shield breaks. This is what the problem is with Thunderbolt. It's saying it's 78 with the shields, but it's not. If you check the like any suit with the shield, this turning speed is what it is with the shield.
Wait, is that how it is? Because I know Emblem normally reads the
Yeah.
shield turning speed and then without shield turning speed when we go through the wiki.
No, that. I mean, if you look at them, look at the stats on the turning speed with the shield, it doesn't add up.
Oh well,
Because-
yeah. I mean, I'm not. I know. Like I said, Emblem linked a thing before, and I haven't looked at it in a while. But so I don't necessarily know what it is what I'm saying. But yeah.
Yeah, because like beam bazooka's 54. When the shield blows off, it's not 54 turn speed. There's no way. It's like way higher than 54.
I mean,
I
the
wonder
only
if
thing
it's
they can do
78.
is like do a separate.
I know
They can
why
do
it
like a
shows that.
separate transformation tab for it, right? And then just show it with and without the shield or whatever.
I think I know why it shows that, because it's counting it as one shield rather than 4. So it's 78 with one shield, I bet. I don't know if you have the Thunderbolt up right now, Emblem, but I would probably bet money that if it's down to one shield, it's got 78 turn speed.
So on the wiki, it says with all 4 shields, you're at 58.7. 3 is. I wonder if that's a weird translation thing. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, so it could be. It seems a little bit wonky. I kind of think the numbers are mixed up. Yeah, because it says 4-piece is 58.7, 3 is 54.6. I think it might need to be reversed.
Oops.
2 goes up to 64.3, and 1 shield goes up to 57.7 on turn speed. According to this, anyway. I say 57 and 75.
I was talking to this about my friend. That's why I was saying like they should just fix this turning speed thing because it's incorrect. Like I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's probably
been
one of those
like this
things
since its release, you know.
Oh yeah, for real though. They definitely need to, because they did the whole we're fixing stats and we're putting more stats. Then fix all the stats. For real though. But
yeah, they need to
I
do it better in
suspect
the game.
I suspect it's one of those things though where they've got it just coded for, the shield does this, so present it as that, where it has 4. Like, do we have anything else that has like multiple shields at all?
Multiple, no.
Yeah, so they probably just didn't feel a reason to actually type it to present it in the UI code. But yeah, that is annoying though, because like your turn speed is nothing. Like, here's my thing. The biggest complaint I had in the arguments that I would have with people, because like immediately I would have people be like, no, it's fine, it's amazing, one of the best raids at that cost, and I'm like, okay, I normally don't say this, but do you want to 1v1 me, and I'll play the Gelgu Jaeger, and I'll shoot you in the back till you don't have any. I'll stun you once, and then I'll rotate around you as a support, and you can't turn fast enough to shoot me.
And you got the quick turn.
You literally have to boost or quick turn just to actually even keep up with me. Otherwise, that's it.
Emergency brake.
Like, it's so dumb.
That's basically what I used to do back in the day,
man.
Do
that.
But yeah, now it's amazing.
In Space Fortress, like I've used this in Space Fortress. You have to quick turn this and then stop to fire your rocket launcher and stuff like that, bro. It was tough.
Yeah, now I don't mind the launcher though. I guess just because I'm kind of used to it. Now I think it's kind of fine because you got the AMBAC 2 and everything. You got a bit more turn speed in that case. So
it'd be so much more better. I feel like it should be on the same lines as Psycho. Psycho can like literally stun you so many times like in a row, and this thing doesn't.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if you could boost and shoot a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
it's like
it shouldn't have to stand still to fire that missile.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I can't really disagree that there would be a reason that it should stand still. I mean, I'll take a buff. I love this suit. I'll take as many buffs as they want to throw at it. So let's go.
Yeah, that's the one more buff I would actually, be like, yo, that's the one that we need. And then because stop the fire. Like really, like I mean, I've been doing it since its release. It's like, but I feel like it shouldn't really need to do that. Especially we got a lot of better suits that are popping up. So
Yeah, this is
I think it's
definitely my
better.
new 500, 550 raid that I'm gonna be just playing nonstop now. Though I absolutely love this thing.
Yeah, I've literally been doing that as well, like just playing.
But yeah, I'll take another buff for sure. But it was just like I got really mad though when they did the buff to the Psycho Zaku and gave it so much more health. Like I was like, I mean, before it was glass. It wasn't a cannon because it had no damage back in the day. Well, I mean, it did when it first came out, but like when it needed the buff, it had no damage at that point. It got outscaled so hard, and it was just glass. There was no glass cannon. It was just glass. And then they buffed it, and then it's like cannon, and then you can put more health on it because it's got so much damage. So like you're just, and you got double dodge roll, and it's so
Double dodge, yeah.
it's insane. Like
It's got power accelerator for no reason.
and that too, like what? And then the thunderbolts over here, like it shows the list. It shows the list of buffs. Like it's like pointing at the
There's
list
a reason
of buffs.
EO lost that fight. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So the power accelerator.
But it shows the list of buffs. Like it's pointing at the list of buffs. Like, yo, what's up with this?
Psycho's got 0 melee strength, and it's like, yo, I'm just gonna clash with you and just like. Well, it can't actually clash with the Thunderbolt, but yeah. Imagine if it could. That'd be busted.
That would be, oh my gosh, I would be so mad if it could. I'd be like, I'm done. I'm rage. And that's when my rage meter gets too high. But yeah, finally they did the two things that I just wanted, so that the suit is actually playable. Like that was the thing; it was unplayable without these changes right here.
Yeah, imagine I was playing it and actually doing well with it, like, and then it got buffed. I'm just like, bro, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like,
this is my space
the
dump
fact-
barrage.
The fact that you shields blow off all the time on the thing, and I just can keep boosting, like that is so pog. Like I don't care. That is so sick.
Well, and it has so much thruster too, and after all the changes, I'm like boosting all over the place. I don't even care about my thruster gauge now. I pretty much never overheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a lot of boosters.
I will say though, whoever the like 5 people, I want to know how many people were actually playing this. Like, I want to. That's the number I want to see on this, because like the 5 people who were giving it a 47.1% win rate compared to the average 50, well done. But
me, bro. Single-handedly, bro.
Hey, if they ever come out with Dom Barrage stats, I'm gonna be like, yo, here we go.
Yeah, I've been doing well with it, but obviously, some cases like it's tough. Definitely with the turning speed. That's why I literally stacked turning speeds on it to make it actually feel nice. But then I was basically losing damage and HP. Now stack some HP on that
Oh
thing,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Like, stack some damage. Like, yeah, it's nice.
Oh, also, the funny thing is someone in my chat yesterday was like, well, now we've got a useless part. There's no reason to, like, why is the turning parts in the game now? There's no reason. There's no suit that needs them anymore.
Right. I actually put that on the beam bazooka, to be fair.
Yeah,
I
it's
actually
kind of
got a build that runs the turning speed on beam bazooka.
But yeah, Gustav or Emblem, anything on the Thunderbolt?
Jazz intensifies, man.
Jazz intensifies.
Groovy Duel.
I actually just hope that like more people legit run it at that cost range. We'll have to see.
People are gonna hear my jazz now.
Oh yeah, they're
You
just
hear my
gonna.
jazz, that's when you die. Like, let's go.
You just hear the
Yes,
like. I just want to do a clip where like it's when we're playing one like in community matches, and just like we're in space, and then I'll switch to like emblem side, and you just hear the groovy duel.
I've actually done that
and
before, man. Just started playing the jazz that's on Thunderbolt.
yeah,
Bro.
just slowly increase it as I approach, and then when I get there, I'm like, just start like smacking them around, whoever it is, just whoever I find that's streaming at the time. I just be like smack, 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 and then just like then fly away and have it just kind of like decrease in sound as I go away.
Groovy Doodle is the name of the song that is a jazz song, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never actually known that song. That song is so terrible.
What?
That
Blasphemy!
song is awful,
Dude,
man.
I want to play that so bad. No, for real though. Like once all this is done, I've been talking to a friend of mine. We're gonna play it. Like if I get the essentially studio, I have to definitely do some stuff for sound though. That'll be weird, but that would be cool to actually perform in there with like where I got my green wall. I could just we could just be in space at that point where suits are fighting in the background or something like that. That'd be cool to do.
Oh yeah.
I would love to do the drum set part, but I don't know if my foot pain would allow me to. But yeah, GBO4 though. I mean I could stay on the Thunderbolt for a while.
Look at that.
Oh, the music in it's so good. But anyway, where's our Thunderbolt at, guys? Come on. But yeah, GBO4 getting a big buff, especially at level 3, and making it different from the super enough to where I like it as its own individual suit and can recommend people try it out now. Because I was not a fan of it personally.
Really?
I mean, it did have the general playstyle, and its sub weapon was pretty good, but damage wise, it like if you had people stunning people or knocking people over, it couldn't hold anything to the output that the Super Gundam would have. Like the Super Gundam's missiles were like more damage than both weapons on this thing, and also your range modifier on the Super is like 20 or almost 30 more or something like that. Like I just went down and I would just shit on this thing a lot.
Yeah, the sub weapon's actually still pretty meh, to be fair. Like they could increase that to 1,000, bro. And
Yeah.
that'd probably be a nice spot for it.
I feel you there. I feel like I was still plinking people when I played it this morning.
It's got a decent stagger
Yeah.
value, but being able to go from the main beam to shoot 5 shots, then back to main beam, then shoot 5 shots, then just keep rocking back and forth. Now the thing is, you can do it twice, and then the third time you'll overheat if you're just going straight back and forth. But it's got enough thrust now in space and stuff to force injector is kind of nice. Level 3, level 2 is nice.
I basically used it as a general, basically. And that's how I would get my damage. I'll just beam, main beam rifle, downswing, shoot the sub, downswing. Like, that's literally what I used to do. And obviously, if they're at range, then I'll just do the range poke game. But I'll literally be trying to get in people's faces with this thing. That's how I played it anyway.
Yeah,
Get big damage.
You mentioned the downswing too. Yeah, I think the other thing I was doing last night was the beam into melee. Then I would back up and shoot a couple of times, and then just to get some pling damage on there, and then just hit them with the main beam again because of the time taken to just do a melee in the first place. If it was something I thought, especially if it was a support that I felt that I could bully, then I would.
Yeah, you can juggle it between your beam and like you can do the side neutral. Obviously, that gives you enough time because when you do a side swing, the recovery is actually longer than if you try to do a neutral then side. So if you do a side swing first and then wait a second or half a second and do a neutral, that should give you time to like hit that beam rifle again and then kind of do it again, juggle them a little bit. Yeah, man, it's definitely it still needs a bit more, a little bit more though. To be fair, with that sub weapon.
Yeah, I could agree. But I do like that the heat rate has been lowered enough where. Oh, by the way, what's the stagger value if you can pull that up real quick, Emblem, for the main beam
Yeah.
now.
While I'm looking it up, I think one buff it needs is ground compatibility. Am I right?
Wait, that would be sick, actually.
Please.
That
Where's that
actually
buff
be
at?
sick. That should be sick.
65 Magnum.
Ooh, what was it before?
Hold on. Holy shit, 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like nothing.
Yeah, damn.
And what's the
That's
it's 35
huge,
for
actually.
the
What
sub?
the?
I think that's what it said.
Yeah, so if
hold
you hit
on.
a shield now, you can just follow up with the sub weapon and you get a stagger.
Oh, yeah, 35.
Yeah,
That's actually big.
that's huge.
Put it on the ground, though.
Please. I mean,
Also,
you know, we mentioned the space thing, and you know, someone commented. I can't remember what it was on, but I responded to them because they were like, I really hope I think it was like the Game Walk is just a space only support. I think is what it was. It was one of the suits coming out like that. I was pretty hyped about, and I was like, well, sadly, if that's it, I'm probably not going to spin on it at all because I want something that I can take into both if I'm going to spend the tokens that has taken a long time to accumulate, and making things versatile to take into both, I think is because you have a space suit that's gonna, and if you really like that suit, you're like, oh well, I can just take this into space. And if it's a space only suit, you might not try it because you haven't practiced. So when you do go into space, you're going to go with what you're more familiar with, and like that's
yeah.
like having things that's both. That's why I don't like having like space only kind of thing. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't think anyone did. I didn't mind it because I liked space. To be fair, that's why actually when the GBO2 came out, I actually pulled on it straight away because I don't mind playing space. But you know, yeah, there's the problem of people not actually playing space. You can't even use the suit that you pulled on. Like the Xeon, like when that was huge, when it first came out, like you see people playing space. It's the Xeon, man. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
But then after a little while, like people stop playing space, and I'm just like out here, like, well, where's everybody, man? I want to play my Xeon, you know?
hey man, I'm still in there with the
Yes.
Zeong. I do my Zeong base cheese. I kill the base, easy game.
So what I'm hearing is that we need to let the Zeong sort it on the ground too. Just let it float. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say now. Obviously,
That
there's
would
some
be
suits
funny.
that make sense to just be space
Just
only, but like
Just give it
anything.
its legs, man.
Just give it its legs.
Oh my
give
gosh.
it, make it
perfect
perfect,
Xeon.
Xeon.
Dude, do it has a charge. It's a raid and it has a charge attack, and the heavy attack is literally the like sliding kick across the map.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
Just give it its legs, make it hover. We're good to go.
they just do the same thing that they did for the Psycho Gundam Mark II. This like slide thing. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead. Well, I guess going into the next topic, from these buffs and stuff, what do you think? Because this is kind of going into the teamwork and clan ranked and stuff like that. What do you think is going to be more toward the meta, especially with those buffs and nerfs? Do you think anything is going to push anything out? Is there going to be any meta shift? And which ones do you think is better for more team play from those buffs?
Probably see DJ SCR. I mean, you already saw it before, so it's gonna be. You probably see more of them in competitive. Zeta was always competitive, really. Um, yeah, I don't really. Uh, there's not many of them suits that you actually, the other suits that you actually see in competitive. Maybe the Zuda F, you might see that a little bit more at its cost ranges. Because
Do you think
obviously
we'll see a
Zuda F,
Thunderbolt in space?
Oh, a Thunderbolt. Yeah, definitely. I feel like
Yeah, I
you
think so
probably
too.
see a Thunderbolt now. Yeah, for
Those changes
sure.
are
Actually,
significant.
yeah, you probably will see a Thunderbolt here and there.
Yeah, they already touched on the weapons before. Just the extra maneuverability and stuff is gonna put it over.
If they buff that rocket launcher and make it not stop the fire, then you would definitely see it in there. Probably even a staple in space.
On a side buff note, they need to buff all the full armor Gundams that have the like chest missile thing to work just like the full armor Thunderbolt does. That change to those missiles
Bro,
was insane.
the Thunderbolt. I don't know if you played back in the boom. Do you remember when he had 24 ammo? Those missile
Wait,
bays
did it?
had 24
Oh
ammo
no,
back
I
in the
think that was
day.
just before my time. Like that was like right when it released, it had that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I started right after after the English translation came out. It was like that January. So like the English
Okay.
translation came out what in like November or something.
Oh,
The
okay.
adjustment
Yeah.
he's talking about was June 20th,
Oh, well, I guess I was playing then.
2019.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because they took away that, man. I was like, why? Like, why did they nerf it, man? Like, it was actually pretty nice to actually do the heavy stagger into those missile bays. Did a lot of damage.
Hmm.
Yeah, but they nerfed it to 12. I'm like,
I wonder if I
why?
even had this suit though. I think that might be the. I'd have to look when I got it, but yeah,
Hmm.
I can't remember.
Yeah, man. Definitely, definitely was strong back in the day because it was literally just Thunderbolt and Psycho that was the spacesuits really, and then everything else was like a gym space, a command like.
Right.
Real.
Mhm.
But
I didn't play in space that much anyway.
Yeah, I
going
was
into
playing.
the clan ranked though, we've got 500 6v6 Space Fortress Interior basic. I was kind of gonna ask you what you think as far as going into the team game. I went ahead and put the topic as team game. Uh, so you know, talking more. I know we've talked about going in, you know, recommending suits or talking about suits in solo queue, or like I call it YOLO queue.
Yeah,
And then there's also the clan ranked side of things, or when you're going in with a decent sized pre-made. Um, so kind of looking at the clan ranked, since we didn't go too much into it. Um, what do you think the meta is going to be for Space Fortress Interior at 500 for the 6v6, and what kind of stress do you think we'll be seeing coming up?
well, Space Fortress, you're gonna see Mark twos, probably betas, um, Bishop. Is still very viable at that cost and very tanky. Um, got the Gazelle, Arjaja, close combat. Like those, like close quarter maps, like you kind of want those type of suits to actually push your front lines, basically push them all the way back to their base. So you want like aggressive suits. Um, in some cases, you could like sub out a bishop for another general. Um, some like a GPO4 unit, a GPO4, a unit for BST that has a data link. You could run that. Um,
Does the BST have that?
yeah,
Oh, dude, that's pretty hype. I actually didn't know that. And
yeah,
one thing we say on here is check your skills. Remember, guys, check your skills.
Yeah, so like the way I like the last clown match that we had in space, what we did, we had two gym intercepts. I was actually on the bishop. He was playing. It was a ace, right? I was playing the bishop. We had two gym intercepts, and what else do we have? The Rick Dom 2, the Guts Dom with the big sword,
Yeah.
um, and a Rick Dom 2. No, Penzin. Yeah, Penzin Dwaj. Uh, well, we bumped into a little problem. Is it was kind of hard for my team to stop the enemy uh, um, Guts Dom. So I decided, well, let me just switch to the Pearl Rider space since we already have data link with the gym intercepts, and we did a lot more better with that composition. Just because I was so the strategy was to actually put me as ace and basically me mop up the targets with the bishop initially, and then I was just thinking, well, Power of Space basically is going to do the same thing. Charging beam rifle into the Gatling is going to be able to clean up a lot of these targets. So we ended up doing that type of strategy. And basically, you can do the same type of idea with the BST at higher costs. But also, I want to ask you guys a question. Like, don't you think clan matches is the true way of playing GBO2, since it's actually based on team play and not solo play, and you actually get to strategize, and you know it's just a lot more healthier environment. There's no toxicity. You're not relying on nobody. Just you got your teammates. Don't you guys think that clan ranked is like what GBO should be?
In a perfect world, yeah, I would say so. Like, ideal. Like, I'm sure once everybody is like on the same page and you got a good team, that's the ideal, right?
I mean, even just
Because
playing as a team, just
yeah.
even if the just building up and just practicing, gaining synergy and stuff. That's a lot more fun when you're doing it with friends, kind of thing. And then as a clan kind of thing, everybody gets in chat, everybody talks, and you start getting that synergy going, and it's just a more fun game for people, even if there's losing going on.
Exactly. And that's my whole point is solo queue actually it promotes like the individual like play style, not team play. And that's where that's I like it's so like solo is very toxic, right? You jump into rated, you pick a suit and there's no trust between the other players, or they picked this and you picked that, and there's no real synergy
Yeah.
going on, and it's like this is not what GBO is meant to be. This is like playing Call of Duty or something, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like team deathmatch.
It's
Um,
interesting because from the limited amount of like commercials and stuff for like videos that they tried to do for the Western version, it actually seems like they tried to advertise it as a Call of Duty sort of situation. And honestly, I hate motherfuckers most of the time. Like, I am a very antisocial person despite me being a streamer and like a guild runner. But so I'm actually just used to solo queue.
I feel that.
And
I
I've
just
come
let
from
that shit flow through me and just try to turn it into energy at that point.
salt feed me.
Yeah, let me be mad and I'm gonna take it out on you. Let's go.
um and my background has been with a lot of MOBAs, and I compare this to a MOBA just because they have the support raid general. It kind of causes that kind of structure
Mhm.
where, you know, like in say League of Legends, for instance, you know, a support, unless you just build straight damage and kind of silly shenanigans, or or play one that can do that, you know, you're kind of locked into a thing that you're doing. So you know, like the support shouldn't be just going up and 1v1ing the raid just outright, and you're kind of locked into your role at that point. And normally, when anything does that, it severely, well, it causes people to have expectation for everybody else around them immediately, which
Oh yeah.
expectation, in my opinion, is what causes salt to begin with. Because as soon as that person does the thing that you were, or does something different than what you were expecting, then it's like, ugh. So
Yeah, that's when you get the spam tells and the knockdowns and all this
yeah.
other shit.
So not to get
Mhm.
redundant, but you know, I've said in the past, I expect nothing from everybody when I'm playing, and kind of looking at League of Legends, for instance. One of the thing there, when I would help people or coach or anything, would be I would tell them, turn off, mute everybody, just get rid of chat. Don't need all chat. Don't need your team chat. Ignore them. Play the game. Focus on what you're doing. You're the only one you can control. Focus on that first. Then when you get to a point, there are times that you can, you know, maybe say,
Mhm.
let's do dragon, or you might have to say something because you're going to do something a little crazy, and give them a chance to say no or whatever, and
Right.
then go ham.
But that stuff has to be second nature first. That way
But
you can just do those calls and stuff while you're doing your stuff.
yeah, because if you say dive tower or something, and then you dive and you both die, then they're going to be like, "Whoa," and then you've, you know,
Then
instead of you just
you
going
gotta deal
in.
with that person for the rest of that time.
Yeah, and even if you went in without saying anything and you died, then they're going to be mad. But if you don't respond to them, then they'll probably get over it. So that's one of the things is like, but again, that's YOLO queue. And with the team stuff, and the reason why I bring up League is recently I just a friend of mine was like, uh, essentially, we're playing League, and I'm like, yeah, I could go for a game. So I got back on, and I saw a video that they had up recently on how they balance the game. And this is kind of the more interesting thing when it comes to team to the individual is they were talking about how they balance for essentially pro play, which is kind of what I would look in this case for this game as clan rank. You know, that's where everybody's working together, they have their comps, and certain things work really well in team comps that don't do well at all in solo queue in, for instance, League of Legends. So like at that point, then it kind of comes to how are they going to balance it, and there's a few questions that comes around that, and that's where it kind of gets complicated as far as more so to what you were saying, like the real way the game should be played. But personally, I think it's the more fun way to play the game.
It is
But I
because
think,
like I come from a background where I played a lot of team games. Like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Armor Core Verdict Day.
yeah,
Like the
I'm
last
familiar
game
with
that
it.
they bring up was Armor Core, and that was like basically strictly team play. Like you would like go you would log into the game, you would like join a clan or make a clan, and you'll get your friends together, and
yep,
that would literally be your lobby, right? You just, every time you log in, you hear your teammates like chatting away to each other, and you're like, hey, what's up, guys? Go into a sortie, or practice with each other, then go into a sortie and rank up together. And there was no leaderboards involved. It was just all about the win, like, and you'd feel good about that, like that's what I say. Like this game takes away from the team. That's why I kind of want this game to actually like the clan matches to be a little bit like permanent, like as in they
yeah,
actually have a separate mode, like team ranked or whatever, team rated.
Mhm.
They still got the clan rank
Like it's
where
just constantly changing.
yeah,
you get the suit, but then you have unrated, you have like a separate, it would change maps and whatever, or space and whatever, but that would be like for you know clans like 9BR or your clan or whatever, you know, they jump in that, you know, everybody's together, they jump in that and actually find a match because you know, like how hard is it to find matches when you're like a 5-stack in quick play or in rated? It takes
Let me ask you
forever.
this real quick. How is adding the clan functionality going to change that? Like, what's going to incentivize people to play it if they don't already
Yeah.
play as a group in the current thing that exists? Like, I don't see what would change that.
I
So
would say, but
like the way that Armor Core did it was there was like a leaderboard, right? And you would want to be on the top of that leaderboard pretty much every week. It reset every week.
Hmm.
They didn't have any rewards, like, but this game could do that, you know, like have some
So
sort of
you're saying to
reward.
add some incentive for it?
Yeah,
Okay,
some
I gotcha.
incentive
I
for
thought you
it, you
just
know.
meant like add something for clans to do. It's like they already exist. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
the,
yeah. Like this, like something that we can always play the clan rank, like like when everybody's on, because like my clan is super active, isn't it? And like we have like 5 people, 6 people, like all the like every day, you know, and like but basically just jumping in custom rooms and waiting for people to join or leaving when we direct sort, you know. You direct you know, stack your team and then it's like, oh, I'm leaving them out. I don't want to fight this, you know, clan, you know. Like we need something so we can practice before the actual big, you know, clan matches or whatever. Like I feel like that would be a
How many
good
people are
idea.
in your clan?
Hmm?
How many people are in a clan? Do you not have enough to just do like in-house scrims?
I mean, we do, but not everybody is on at the same time because they're different time zones, isn't it? But usually
Right.
we do have like 5, 6 people on the same time. Some days, sometimes we do have like everybody on where we can actually do that. We scrim against each other, but it's not every day you can do that, you
I
know.
feel you, man. I know that struggle. I
Hmm.
can barely get my
Yeah,
clan for practice, so I understand.
Mine's apparently
yeah.
trying to do it right now, and they keep fucking doing it when I'm in the middle of a goddamn podcast.
by the way, did you ever hear of a game called Chrome Hounds?
Chrome Hounds. No, I'm not.
It's essentially the same thing, same system that Armored Core had. It's pretty much the same thing. I always got to shout out Chrome Hounds. I loved it. It was a lot slower. Like you had somebody who would shell a base from halfway across the map. The maps were kind of thing. But the same thing though. You had your clan. The only way you could actually do anything was you had to join a clan and you had to
Yeah,
essentially put in a resume. And as you played, you could build up your resume, and you know you made friends along the way. There were ways to kind of essentially queue into a random group of people, but the thing is
yeah, like
nobody wanted to do
mercenary.
that, right? Yeah, you're essentially a mercenary queuing in, and you know,
Yeah, we had that as well. Namako.
yeah. So like same thing, and it's but you could queue in with some random people, but you wanted to find a group that you could start working as a team with, and that's what they promoted because you got big rewards. Like you actually got money to buy parts and stuff based on how well your mercenary group, because you know they paid out the country that you were on, essentially the 3 different teams you could choose from would pay your mercenary group money so you could actually buy better parts and everything else. So it was kind of cool in that regard. And again, they had the leaderboard thing. So yeah, when clan ranked was first mentioned, what I was speculating was like, oh my gosh, they could do like a leaderboard thing, and then clans start going up, and then you start having teams, and then who knows? You know, they're trying to do competitive things in Japan. So there we go. That's how they're going to get their like actual tournaments going. Is they'll just pull from the top stuff. That's what a lot of games do, starting out like that'd be really cool if they're going to push for this competitive thing. And well, we haven't got there yet, but yeah, I think that would be amazing if they would literally just open it up at all times. And kind of what um my answer to what you were asking, Emblem, is if they just did, you know, a room that's up at all times. Right now, the problem is there's people who want to play um in the morning, but we're having problems getting to morning matches. Well, some people are on in the afternoon, some people are on the evening, and you know, like it's been an issue. Like the 6v6 we might not have enough people for it. But as soon as it gets to the simple battle, we had almost 3 teams last time for the late night one. So like it's
Right.
one of those things that it's like, you know, if it was kind of like an all the time kind of thing going on, people could just jump in whenever, and it would just group them together with another team, and you would have to have that many, you know, depending on the whatever they're running. I don't know if they would do full 6v6s all the time, or how, you know, that would work exactly, or if there would be like a multiple rooms up, so 6v6, 5v5, 4v4 kind of thing. So there was always at least something.
Well, I feel like they would have to change the point structure if they do that. Like if because like I guess more of what I was asking was just for more information. Because when we were initially talking about it, it just sounded like we were like, let's just make another clan lobby that's the exact same as group rated match, and it'd be awesome because we can clan up and play in that. But and you know that's cool. Like you guys are fleshing out more, which is what I wanted. But like in regards to your example, Magnum, because I do think there needs to be some incentive to get people to do it, because obviously if there's not, nobody does, as we can see right now.
I mean, I would say a leaderboard
I don't know.
thing.
I think we would run into the same problem rated match has, or ranked match had, if we just, I mean, it may not be saying that, but if we just like take the current system and move it into like a open all the time kind of deal, would it just become like the best clan that can farm the most? Like you just have infinite time to just see who gets top,
The
like the
best
leader,
average,
top 100
yeah.
is top 100 just becomes 100 people with max score. I mean, I don't think that's realistic, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think they would have to.
The margin would just be tighter, and like it would just give the better clans more time to get the same kind of scores they always get.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
in Armored Core, they also there wasn't no individual rank. It was literally your team rank. So you know how a lot of people like having
like
higher
the bigger
ranks
thing
and
for me
stuff.
when it comes to like Chrome Hounds and Armored Core is that they actually had full on like single player things. They had a basis for you to do literally anything else, and then the multiplayer shit was just an extra bit that a small group of people really got into.
Yeah.
But this from the ground up is a multiplayer game. And if there's one thing that a multiplayer game needs more than anything else, is for its pubs to not fucking die.
Oh, I will say the Chrome Hounds though was literally just a multiplayer game. I mean, it had a single
Because
player,
like that's
but that
exactly
was
what
just
happened to Mbon, and like everyone just started to hole up into other shit, and they just never came out. So as far as anyone who's just trying to play this game for any given time already would be concerned, like that game's already dead, and this one's not as big as the company probably hopes that it is, at least not stateside. Because I just got a couple comments on like a short, whereas like a JP dude was like, "Oh yeah, it's good to see that Gundam's doing so well overseas," and then the dude under him was literally like, "Is it though?" I was just like, "God damn." So like, I would love for that to be a possibility. I don't know if even further splitting the player base, even if it is happening all the time, because what happens if they incentivize it, right? You have all these people trying to hack away at that margin to try to get in there for the reward periods. And then suddenly you have another dip in people at certain ratings that just don't exist in those main lobbies anymore.
I will say, yeah.
And I think that's half the reason that they don't follow up on ranked, and that it's pretty much just been dead for what, like a couple of years already?
Well, ranked
and
though,
like clan matches. Yeah, but my thing is that like that even pulled a lot of people. But now clan matches, at least it's just a set time on one day, and I don't think they're gonna figure out another system that they're gonna want to implement to change that.
I mean, they like. I mean, because like the fact that people like to do the clan matches, and I'm pretty sure every clan likes to do these clan matches for like not just the rewards, just actually having bragging rights of being in first place or whatever. Like, you know, I think these clans wouldn't mind having a separate team mode where you basically just fight other clans and, you know, get on the leaderboard, have leaderboards or whatever. I don't know how they're gonna do the point system or whatever. you know.
Well, I
Just the
mean,
fact that they can actually play the game how it's intended to play and have fun with it, you know, instead
Well, the
of
interesting thing is that
solo
like,
queuing with randoms, you know, and
because
being
like
then getting toxic, you know.
I feel like some of the better matches that we've had hasn't even been clan matches, has been post clan matches, right? Like let's say we get like extra teams, so you have a team 1 and a team 2, and then like once we're done, like whether we win or lose, we usually get in there and do some custom stuff together. So I feel like the answer in that regard is just more internal organization and doing just customs.
well,
Mm,
I mean, as far as okay, so I mean, as far as just in-game example, look at the PvE ladder. You don't get anything from that, but people still compete to have the highest
yeah,
or
highest rank
quickest
and that.
time on that, and
Mhm.
people don't get anything from that. What I think though is, what if they just did a clan rating? Because that's, I mean, that's essentially what every other game does when they put in a team mode, where you
Yeah,
queue
that's
in
what
for a
I'm
team.
saying.
Is you
Yeah,
just have a
Right.
rating. You just gain an elo score. So you know, you're like, well, our team is platinum or our team is diamond. You know, so you start out at D and then you end up, well, our team is S minus.
yeah.
So our
That's
clan's
I
basically
S
mean, I
what I'm
also
minus.
feel
saying.
like the
Yeah,
the PvE stuff also is like a little bit faster, right? Because it's all speedrun stuff at that point.
Oh yeah, that's literally all
You're
it is.
only literally using like 3 people doing it under 3 minutes or less, right? So I feel like even if it's not easier, it's just a faster thing to do as opposed to doing full on matches every time. So I think for a lot of people, that lower bar of entry in terms of like time dedication, especially if they feel like they can just make the run, just makes it easier for people to get in there regardless of the reward.
But again, from like MOBAs though, there's always, almost always, a team mode. And again, a lot of times the player base is bigger, but even on some of the smaller ones, um, they'll have like a strictly team mode where you can go in as a pre-made group, because a lot of people, what a lot of people don't like, and what they've tried to do with their system here, is they try to limit it so that you can only get like plus or minus one kind of thing, which I think we finally had a situation where a group of 2 queued into our group of 4 or something like that. I remember clipping something. I need to go back and look at that.
yeah.
But
They
like
that I've had that as well.
there's some anomalies, but the thing is, it's pretty much, you almost can't find a group unless it's +1 or plus or -1, whatever your group size is.
It's super
And
rare.
then the only thing I can guess is they've been sitting there for 2 hours, because a lot of systems like this will have an auto expanding thing after, you know, a certain amount of wait time. So that's probably the only thing that actually has been causing that. But I don't know. I don't see why there shouldn't be, or couldn't be even, just at least one kind of mode to where you queued in as maybe a group of 5. That way it's not too big or too small, and you can just go in at any time and kind of just do that. And then they get your clan starts gaining its own rating, and it kind of just goes up or goes down based on your group doing whatever. And obviously there will be some groups that'll be like, you can't get in unless you're A or whatever, but you know, like they're, or S minus, you know, whatever they end up doing. But the thing is, then people who just want to get in and have fun as a group and play against another team, like if you make a custom game, the only thing I don't like about going in and just being like, okay guys, we're gonna do some practice, and then you end up having like, you know, 5 random people versus your 5 group, and
Yeah,
then it's
that's the
like,
problem.
we're a group and they're not, so feels bad.
Because they get stomped and then they leave, and then we're waiting for another half an hour for the room to fill up, and it's like, bruh, we ain't got time for this. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
So that is
that's
my
my whole
problem with
point.
the just trying to get a group together that could go in against, you know, doing another 5. So, I definitely feel that, but I also
Because
can see what
people
you're saying, Gusto.
already try to organize scrims with each other, so why not just have a mode that does that? Really, you know?
Well, I mean, that's one
Instead
reason why
of
I think they did that in I can't remember when or how long it took for them to do that in League of Legends, but essentially they did that because a lot of the teams that were competing were just wanting to play against each other, so they were doing scrims, but this way they didn't have to really schedule anything. So like I remember one time, I think it was we queued into like, and this was way back. This was like before they had actual names like silver, gold, diamond, stuff like that. When it was just a number. And we queued into, I think it was CLG at the time. It was just like, what? We just formed this team. Why? And we just got slaughtered, dude. It was great. Like that was like back in the day, just getting into the game kind of thing. And but the problem was, and here's kind of one reason why I point out, small game at the time. Because of that, they were sitting there for a while, playing like Tetris or something. And finally they ran into a team that they just got to slaughter because it took them forever to get into a game. So I mean that's probably going to happen a bit with this, and that I can see that being a problem. But yeah, so I mean I've seen that happen in MOBAs a lot too, where if there's not enough teams queuing, then you'll have a game every now and then where it would be like all S minuses versus all D minuses, and it's like, oof. But I mean that's just I don't know. I think that's kind of funny when that happens a little bit. I've been
I feel
on
like
the
that'd be the
receiving end.
first thing that people bitch about, and they'd probably just take it away after that.
Yeah, well, they'll probably just kind of limit it because they've already done that with the clan ranked itself, right? Because they were already complaining about that being a thing that's happened. And more so, even the higher ranking people were complaining about it because they weren't getting good enough scores because they weren't playing against high enough ranking. So.
Yeah, I feel you there. Like, I definitely think if as long as like you guys are saying, they provide some incentive to get people to actually want to do those group matches. And I mean, a ladder or even just a separate group ranked queue is probably exactly what they need to kind of get people interested, because people on it, the internet's all about swag power, whether it's how much you know about Gundam or how good you are at the Gundam video game. People like to have things like that. So be on top of the ladder, or have an actual rating associated with your clan, or something like that in the group queue. I think that would be fine. I don't think it would be like bad per se, and would probably be good for the growth of the game.
Marker cosmetics?
Exactly.
Something like that?
Marker cosmetics?
Put your clan tag on your suit, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's something they
For
should do like anyway.
Yeah.
The cosmetics in battle operation are just like lacking in general, but we had this
they are
discussion
trash.
like every other podcast.
Yeah, shit like barely exists. We don't have any hairstyles or anything either.
Where's the hair?
It's like
Why is she in the
why
game?
can't I just like in Armor Core, like you literally could create your own emblem, man. From scratch.
I don't hate that too much. Like maybe they would have to create some kind of filter, but I'm personally okay with not fighting a clan and like, having a dick on the screen or something like that. Because I don't know. I played a lot of Battlefield.
Do you know
I played
what?
a lot of Battlefield and
that has
that's
actually
real.
happened in Armor Core, like oh man. But most of them are sensible anyway.
yeah, no, I feel you. More often than not, it's fine. But like symbol art and Fantasy Star is the same way. Like,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
man,
Oh, my
I've
gosh,
seen
you have
like
to turn
way
that
too
off.
much fucking boobs and Winnie the Pooh with a honey dick and stuff like that. Like, I'm okay with them limiting the emblems a little
Yeah.
bit, but you should definitely be able to put it on your mobile suit.
For real though. But
For sure.
okay, so anything else team wise?
Oh, and your pilot suit.
I think we covered the as far as them doing, because I've been wanting that for a while. I've also been wanting for them to put in a thing where, especially if they do that, where you can see what the enemy team's picking and you alternate like any other ranked mode does, so you can actually
Captain's pick.
figure out what you're doing before you go into the game. You can do some counter picking a little bit. That'd be
Maybe
amazing.
if they do a team thing, like, and you maybe bump into the same team you just got stomped by, maybe you could counter them by what they was using in the last match, stuff like that. I mean, what we basically already do in clan ranked, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So,
Yeah, it's like we ran into one group that was using a pixie, and the next time we were like, okay, pixie, let's go.
yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing like an alternating thing. So like if somebody does pick a pixie, then you counter pick with the Isaac. But if a team's already picked their support, then um then you're like, oh, I can just pick a pixie. They don't have something that can see this all the time or something like that. Right?
Well,
Like
you want to actually see their comp before we actually go into battle.
yeah.
That's
So
that's
that
pretty
way you could
broken.
kind of start. Well, why you have 3 sets of parts, so you could have like a beam resist one, a ballistic resist one, a melee resist one. You can kind of swap those around more. You can that gives parts more of a reason to be a thing, to have 3 different sets ready to go, and you have to do it live. You can't just like go in and switch it, and you accidentally take too long, and then you get a dodge, whoops, kind of thing, right? So you got to have that already pre-done. I don't know. I think that would be kind of awesome at some point. But
Yeah, that's definitely a MOBA thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it is a
I'm
MOBA
the
thing.
MOBA guy here, so yeah. I mean, like,
Well, I don't think it would be bad for battle operation. I think they would need to limit it somewhat. Like, I think the mode's called Captain's Pick, and I think it's in Dota, but
yeah,
I think it would be a neat little extra mechanic, or maybe not mechanic, but like a different game mode that kind of maybe it seems like it'd be more focused on like maybe team play. I mean, maybe you don't necessarily have to, but like maybe like one team gets first pick and it's first and they get the Dryson, so now the other team can't use the Dryson. So like it forces diversity in suits. It makes people have to kind of get outside the box, and stuff like that. It'd be interesting. I
yeah.
don't think it would
That would be
necessarily
a
like
weird
everyone
mechanic.
would probably hate it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, fucking no one would play this anymore.
well, I
God
mean,
Everyone would
damn.
hate it.
I mean,
Like, can I let
most,
you guys in on a secret real quick? I fucking hate MOBAs. Like, I absolutely despise them with
no,
every
yeah,
core
I
of my
know.
being. So all this fucking shit making this akin, like, I think half of the reason that this has actually survived as long as it has is because even though there's similarities, this is nothing close to your typical, like, actual MOBA. Like, you
Oh,
don't
for
have the
sure.
dynamic, you don't
Oh
have the
yeah.
dynamic build changing throughout. The lanes aren't set in stone like they are in MOBAs.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
this
Well,
is
I don't want
actually
that.
more shooter than anything else.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely
for sure.
arena shooter that it's just the support general and raid is what kind of makes it feel
Like, I
MOBA-esque.
can't stress enough that this is not a fucking MOBA.
Yeah, I feel you there. But like, I'm definitely, I definitely wouldn't want to see, they picked the Pixie, or let's pick a Camphor and a Zark or something, like something anti-stealth. Like it's kind of like, bro, it's a bit too much.
I don't know. I kind of like that myself. That's what, because I'm picking this thing. I could put either beam or ballistic on. I don't know this.
Yeah.
We're
I don't know,
running.
like, counter picks in this game are really strong. I
Yeah,
feel
they
like
Right.
we've had some
Yeah.
pretty rough,
Well,
like, just hard counter picks incidentally, and there's just literally nothing you can do for 8 minutes. You're just sitting there mad. For
and
I feel
nothing.
you there. Like
Yeah,
that.
when we were
it's
talking about the
true.
Pixie, I was like, they would have to make the Pixie better because it's just so easy to counter.
I mean, that's why I bring it up,
like,
because it's the easiest thing to
yeah.
think of. Yeah. Which, I mean, the other thing too, and the other reason why I'm kind of against this is, speaking of which, they'd have to actually balance a lot of stuff. So the example too, what you said, which is the one thing I've been trying to stay away from, even though I kind of like it sometimes because it, does, force people to kind of have some diversity in their suits. Why is my dog barking? But anyway, the it kind of forces diversity in their suits and stuff. But the having just one Dryson on the field, I don't know if that really makes sense in the context of the game. That not to go but my lore, but at this point, it's it doesn't make as much sense, right?
Well,
It'd
there's
be a
similar
weird
suits that
take.
fill the same role.
Yeah, that's true, but
So
But
I
not.
mean, I don't see.
I think that's
see
something
why.
that we talk about a lot when it comes to suits. Though, like, there are others that can do it, but why the fuck would I do it if I didn't have to?
yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why that's why in that game mode it would be
I mean,
like that though, right?
I mean, it's also just the
Weird.
concept of it being a gacha game overall too.
And
So
they
you're just like dividing people through clan and then also through soup choice within that same
Well,
mode.
yeah. I mean, that's why it would be a separate game mode with things that work differently. I don't know. Like, I don't think it'd be like the most popular thing ever. And like I said, no one would probably play it. But I think if you don't do that, like in that type of game mode, then you would just kind of have everybody
doing the
running the
meta,
same stuff.
essentially. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it probably would still happen, like their team would be like probably 3 suits, like, oh, we don't have the Dryson. Let's run well, I mean, I guess it happens in MOBA style games anyway, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem unheard of to me. Like, I
I
can
would
get what
say
Magnum is saying.
I would say
Like,
instead of
I
that
don't think
though.
I would play it that much.
Start adding lanes and
Oh no,
the
no, 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 no,
gens,
no,
the
no,
gens and the min,
no!
the
Get
gens
that out
and
of
the
here.
minions.
See, I can't CS anyway.
Yeah, they don't need to
I
add
can't
They just,
CS
you know what they
anyway.
could do? They could just turn
That's
it
my
into
weakness.
fucking Monday Night Combat at that point.
But
And
like
that game's fucking awesome. I love Super Monday Night Combat.
But like, I would say instead of the pick, and then the other team can't pick that. Maybe putting a like one suit on each group, they could just ban a suit. So it'd be like, boom, you can't use this one 500 cost suit, whatever. Get the back when the Cubile, everybody hated the Cubile at 650. Get the Cubile out of here. No Cubiles.
Everyone's only gonna play. Everyone play Double Zeta Gundam.
Double Zeta.
You know what the hilarious thing is though? Like the minute we got
Fuck, I
other
can't play.
Cubiles, and like finally when we got the MP Cubile, what came back? All the other Cubiles.
Yeah, right. It's
In
kinda funny.
full force.
But I gotta go check out my dog real quick.
I don't know.
You got
I'll be right
three different Cubiles with all each typing in teams in 650 being common as fuck. Suddenly these motherfuckers are brave as hell and want to run these Cubiles and shit.
I don't even watch my video. I put the title was like funnel battle operations. Funnel operations. No, funnel operations 2. That was the one, and it's like a full team of Cublies, like Mark 2s, like regular Cubly and MP. Like, oh man, that was toxic. Like, I guess like it was against like some other friends as well, but like, oh man, that was funny.
The only thing that would have been better if it was just like a pub stomp or some shit. Like, oh jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, making the game like that, counter picking like before you even get in the game, it should be a surprise of what they have and try to work around it. Like that's like the beauty of the game. It's like,
that's fair too. Yeah,
they got a pixie, like, and like, it's a surprise. You're like, they got a pixie, like this, like prepare for it, like.
I will say I think the Pixie's like the worst case like comparison for something like that. Like it is absolutely like the worst argument. Like the Pixie would literally be unplayable in that scenario in its current state. But
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
But so any other team topics we want to cover? I know we've went a little ham, but
yeah, we went pretty I was gonna say one more thing, but I don't know if it's like really worth it. Like really,
go ahead.
But I think I was just just the fact that in solo it's a lot harder to play supports and a lot even more harder playing raids and that in solo compared to the team play. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely, especially from a raid standpoint.
I can't really disagree, but I play just pretty much support and raids. I don't play too much general.
But the struggle is real for these suits, and yes, like especially in solo. So that's the like one of the reasons why like they should add like a team mode. Like it would be less stressful for these types, these categories.
Yeah,
yeah, that
that's
was
definitely the idea.
yeah.
I mean, even when we were playing earlier, it can be really hard to get stuff done. Because I swear, whenever I'm to raid, and I'm pushing the enemy support, like more often than not, they've got somebody that's fallen back. So I'm in a 2v1, and the other 4 members of my team are somehow losing to the other 3, or
Yeah. Yeah.
4v5, or whatever the number is, depending on how many people are around. But yeah, it's nice when you have people who can actually break off and be able to actually swap
For
partners
you.
and
Yeah.
fight appropriately and stuff like that. It's nice when things kind of click and work well together. It's just like whenever I get frustrated playing Battle Op, it's not so much like, sometimes we lose because it doesn't happen. But whenever you're like trying to do something and you get interrupted, like I hate it whenever when I've successfully initiated and I get like stopped. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so frustrating.
Because your generals are not like actually being a front line and pushing up, and or
Mhm.
even escorting you, like because that's the main problem is like the solo queue generals basically when it comes to you being a radar support is most cases they're just playing their own game and they forget about everything else, right? they just
I will say
they
though,
just
like
focus.
I I don't think the general role is like super easy either by any regard. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, herp derp generals do it up. But I think from playing the general role a bit myself too, there is a lot that's going on for them as well. So I won't say it's like super easy by any means either, because you have to be like clashing. You have to know where other people are on your team and what's going on. Like you have to know when you need to help and when you don't. You have to know
Yeah,
when
for
it's good to
true.
actually break off the front in order to like be that person to escort your raid, and when it makes more sense to be in the front and help with the initial push, and when it makes sense to break off and do other objectives. Like it's all situational, and it's all about just kind of like playing the game, figuring out what to do and stuff like that. Like it's definitely not like set in stone, like, oh, you were this suit at this time, you should have been doing this. um
Yeah,
in the moment it can be kind of hard to know exactly where you need to be.
yeah, I understand that.
Especially
Um,
like you mentioned, when to escort, when to be in the front line, when to also help. The meme, I'm a general and I'm helping.
I'm helping, like, yeah.
Like maybe helping set up the support so the raid has an easy stagger follow up and all that stuff. Cool. But as soon as that's done and I've made sure there's no generals around, I'm out. You got him at that point. Go ahead and finish
me
your play.
me personally, I don't know, maybe because I've played a lot of this game, so I'm just uh, spatially aware, and I always can tell what's going on around me most of the time. Like obviously, I can't be like everywhere, so I can't like help my raid and go help my support and do the things that my other generals are not doing on the team.
Mhm.
But I do feel like it's still the easiest, in my opinion. 'Cause, it's you hold your front line, you stun, you know, keep an eye on your map and stuff like that. I mean, it is pretty basic to be fair, but I know what you're saying is
Like that also
keeping.
kind of might be part of your background. For me, as
Mm,
somebody who up until I played Battle Operation as like, a loose playing of like some MOBAs. But I mostly play RPGs, so it's out of my element for me. So that might just be part of your background. Um,
yeah, probably.
which is a
Yeah, I
thing.
do played a lot of team games like um Overwatch as well. Played a lot of Overwatch back
Mm.
in the day. Um,
Yeah, I definitely
yes,
say there's two
I've always
skills.
been that spatial awareness type of person. But yeah, go on, Magnum.
Well, I always say there's two big things that you can work on mainly it's awareness, which can I kind of involve decision making and stuff in there with that, and then base mechanics and just base skill. So like how good you can shoot, how good you can the high skill cap suits, right? You can probably you can play the high skill cap suit like insane, but if your decision making is poor and you jump in there and you just get taken out, then like that's whoops, your bad
Yeah, you're not
decision.
doing.
That's what's holding you back. That'll keep somebody in C or whatever, right? And
Yeah, it
learning
is.
good,
That's true.
learning good decision making and awareness on that, and they could have the best mechanics, but if they're not making the right decisions or making the right plays, then it
I
doesn't
feel
mean anything.
like that's where like A minus is around, like, because like I've seen some A minuses like actually mechanically good, but their decision making is actually bad, and that's what makes them lose a lot of games. I definitely see that.
I feel like I see that in S minus sometimes too. But
I
you
mean,
know?
yeah, like it is everywhere because some people do get carried, so it can be everywhere. You would hope that it's less than like A plus, S minus, basically. But
Yeah.
there
Sometimes you
is
have
there.
weird games.
Hmm.
I've definitely had some where I'm like, what are these guys doing here?
But
Yeah.
but yeah, any other specific team things as far as like well, I guess anything from team comp or anything like that. I already asked my clan ranked question.
And team comp is just basically, knowing what the suits can do and how good can they synergize with each other. That's literally really all it comes down to. If you know your suits, then you should know what goes good together. Like, you're not gonna pick like, I don't know, 3 dingoes and I don't know, Zuda, like Raid or something like that. You're gonna have all shooty suits and you're on Arctic base. I mean, it might work, but like,
But if you all hit one target with the prototype beam rifle, he's instantly dead. What do you mean?
Alpha him down,
yeah,
go.
yeah. If you miss those shots, yeah, it's gonna be a rough time.
It's got a
Hey,
Vulcan and throw
remember
grenades.
the half cannon game?
Backpedal.
Come on, Gustav, half cannons, let's go.
Oh god, that's gross.
Oh, I've got that clipped. I had to go clip that out. Like I've got that entire little
That's such a
2 minute,
goofy ass game.
and then Emblem DC'd. Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh
my
no.
couldn't handle all the
he
DACA.
DC'd cough cough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah, go on.
definitely had downtime.
Yeah, team comp is just basically picking the meta suits and putting them together. Really, like that's literally what it comes down to. I mean, like for example, there's that 650 clan match that we did. We initially was going to have the HML instead of the QBD. Well, obviously the QBD didn't come out at the time, but we was gonna have the HML on our tip base because it's tanky. It can play like a general. Um, uh,
Maneuverability and all that good stuff.
yes, it's got a lot of survivability. Could have picked the C1, but the C1 gets shot out of the sky and O even jumps from that thing, it would die. You know what I mean? So that's why we had the idea of putting the HML there because it's definitely going to survive against the O. But yeah, we eventually picked the 2 Cubilees. We had an O and a Z2, and then I was on the Cubilee Mark II at first, but then we had a little bit of trouble because I was getting focused a bit too often. Our Z2 was using the shrapnel Zooks. I guess we found out why the shrapnel Zooks had a little bit of a problem. Um, but yeah, we switched out the Z2 for another O, so we can like they can basically push up with me and have more stuns basically, and the Cubalies can do their work in the back, and it was just a strong synergy, and that's basically all you got to look for is like suits that synergize with each other basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think we've covered team stuff enough. Any final words? If not, let's go ahead and do some new suit speculation and do some shoutouts because we definitely went ham on this one.
Yeah, man, we can definitely move on.
GBO3 is going to be a MOBA.
Oh no, no!
Here's hoping they have another single player game before then.
Oh my god!
Actually, that's something too.
The gyms
Like,
and minions and that way.
I remember hearing so many people say like, "I wish they just had a single player game," and I really like even using this engine or something else. I just wish this was a multiplayer, and I feel like that's why they've been kind of dragging their feet on actually giving us that. Because if that happened, watch the player base for this game magically disappear.
For real. I mean, I was talking about it. I would love to see a full story. Like, I love the engine, how everything plays. That's, in my opinion, this is the best Gundam game I've played as far as that goes. Maybe
Yeah, they really nailed
the
it.
simulator pods over there in Japan would probably be better, but yeah, that's probably the
A lot
only thing
better.
that could
Mhm.
top this for what I've played anyway. So yeah, let's go. But yeah, I would love to see a full like story single player game that's all it was is just they kind of came out with that, had its own thing. I would pay $30 for that or 40 or something like that. That'd be cool. Then as far as just new suit stuff though, I have no clue. Like at this point, who knows? Like I figured it was gonna be a raid. My next guess would be maybe we get another support next week or something, but
Mark
you're-
5.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
missiles.
technically, we're double rated up right now too with the other suits. So
yeah, we won't see a raid for another like 8 weeks.
We're gonna get a
yeah,
general next.
because eventually this is gonna just get introduced to the gacha anyway.
Right.
It's definitely gonna be a general next, I reckon.
Most likely. But yeah, do you have any ideas on what the suit would be though?
Charles Gelgoog, bro. That's what I think.
General?
Yeah, definitely a general. What's the yeah, I do believe that it might be that.
I think it's gonna be funny if
Yeah.
it's just
God.
like the normal Gelgoog, only it's like 600 cost, and it's just the stats are just boosted as all get out.
It just looks like something out of Origin.
I think it's gonna be a 500 cost. It's gonna have like force injectors, like high, like 135 movement speed, like really high top speed or something like that. Crazy.
Triple dodge roll.
It's double dodge maybe. Shield on the back. Yeah, basically like what you see in the anime.
Did you say hi?
Probably give it its own beam rifle, like the Shaw's Gelgoog beam rifle, and it's an instant stun. I don't know. Who knows? We have to wait and find out.
It's a mystery.
Do you have
This is a
any?
mystery.
We usually speculate outside of Char's Gogu. Do you have anything that you would like to see? We joke around with one of the guys, Alshi, because he wants to see the Hazels, even though I don't see why we don't have them. But anyway, do you have anything that you're looking forward to or wouldn't mind seeing in the game?
Not at the moment. I literally have all the suits that I could ever ask for at the moment.
Right.
Well, there was obviously, new Gundam, basically. That's anniversary. So, yeah. I won't be. I'll be saving for a very long time. That's what. That's what I know. 'Cause I don't think there's any other suit that's gonna come out that I want to be interested in. Yeah, that's just me. I'm very specific on what I want and what I like to pull on. I don't just like pull on anything. That's how I save a lot of tokens. That's the trick, guys. That's the that's the way. What do you guys think?
I have no clue. I just want to see the new supports, the stuff that's been leaked. It looks pretty hype. The only thing is, it's kind of funny that as far as what the amount of supports that have been leaked is kind of small. Is what I remember. Someone was like, "Wait, really? We only have this many compared to everybody else's? What is it?"
Yeah, like that's it.
So I think that'd be interesting to see some of the supports.
I feel like it's kind of fucked up, but even with the stuff they're trying to do for support seats nowadays, it feels like making people play supports is just as bad as trying to make them play space. It's as bad as having a space only suit. So they just thin it out as much as possible and throw as much as they can on the actual support seats that come out.
Oh, that hurts. Ooh.
There is one suit that I've been wanting for a very long time. Actually, come to think of it,
there
is
we
the
go.
Nasala.
I don't know why
Yeah,
we don't have it yet.
Yeah.
The Nasala.
we already got other
I've
big
been-
ass suits. It's fine. We can do it.
So in
Yeah,
that
man,
regard,
make it
then,
happen.
so what is it? Because you say you know what you want. So what if the Masala comes out and it's bad? Do you roll on it anyway for the sake of saving your
Alright.
tokens, or is it like that's my suit and I want it?
Nah, I'll roll on that. That's one of my top 10s. Mobile
Gotcha.
suits.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the same level.
Oh no!
No!
It's the same level as what? No.
BB Studios is like, that's enough of that. Masala ain't happening. Like, oh no. Oh, we're doing good too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Shit.
Okay, Gustav, what suit are you looking forward to or anything?
Actually, I
You
do
can
want
live-
them to run it back and just knock out more of the Zeta suits at this point. It's kind of annoying that we don't have some of those. I know a lot of them that are left are big. I don't really give a fuck. If they're not going to be bosses, then make them gotcha suits.
Right?
Oh, did I back out there? That's crazy.
You're back
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, what I was saying is Masala, make it a raid so I can triple downswing with dual sabers and claws.
It sounded like
That'd
you were
be
gonna
pretty
mention
nice.
another suit too. What was
Yeah, you said it was on the same level as something in return.
So yeah, it's on the same level as Zeta.
Oh,
Zeta
okay.
Gundam.
I feel
Like
you
they're
there.
my top 10 suits, like, this is the Masada is one of them. Zeta is one of the highest suits that I love. New Gundams up there too.
Yeah, New's my next one probably.
Kasi Gundam, but that's halfway as Flash. That's way in the future if we ever do get there.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, they went farther than what we were expecting. So
I mean, they've added it to PS5, so maybe we get some, a few more years out of it. Probably get to F91. Like,
That'd be cool.
Or at
And
least
also-
some like CCA MSV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
the other thing too, speaking of like, we've talked before on seeing if they did a GBO3. What I think would be kind of interesting is if they did a GBO Next 2 kind of thing. Only they did it
A
more in
Next.
this engine, and try to do it in this engine kind of thing, and make it work like that, so that it's kind of a game in between. And then they either work on a new engine, or they're going to have to do something big to differentiate this game from a 3 at this point. Because being like,
Double
okay, now you got to
Zeta.
restart stuff is gonna
At that
be.
point, they're just gonna port the fucking the newest Gundam pod thing in Japan right now.
There we go.
This is what it's gonna be. Oh my god.
Double Z will actually have a transformation.
Ooh, give me the
What?
fortress.
That he actually transformed in the GBO next.
But like, if they did a GBO3, I don't think they can do a GBO3 easily right now unless they did something big. And in my opinion, that would be like, doing a new engine kind of thing or adding. I mean, literally, short of saying GBO3 and adding, like big, like server changes and stuff, is probably the only thing they could do while keeping the game pretty much the same as it is.
I mean, that would by far and large be a better improvement than any engine shit they could do. It's just making the servers
GBO2 New
not suck.
Genesis.
Right? I mean, honestly, like if they do that and they let you keep your legacy shit, fuck it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Touch it up a little bit and keep the engine, whatever, and just give it dedicated servers and call it a day.
But anything else for new suit speculation stuff, or any just new speculation in general?
Where's the bound dock?
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
gosh, I forgot about that thing.
All
Where is
right.
it? That's the next support. What it is?
Oh my god, he's
Yeah, these suits are missing, man. We're like way past Zeta. They need to bring it back.
We were screaming that was the support for the longest time, and then
And never have we ended up getting fucking game hulk instead.
Who's we, Magnum? I told you the only way the bound dock's going to be a support is when when it transforms, it goes in, it like lowers onto the ground and like hovers
oh my
around like
gosh,
a
that's
tank.
right. You wanted it to be
Like
a
a-
raid.
like a
You were
turtle.
like, it's got to be a
It
raid.
needs to be a raid. It needs to have a command grab and it needs to be a raid.
Yes,
Is it a command grab?
you fucking grab them and you slam them on the
Oh my
ground.
gosh. That's your
That's
charge
That's his
you
attack.
don't
charge.
worry.
That's his charge
yeah.
attack.
I'll take
There
that.
you
They
go.
just charge it up and it just grabs someone up. Right?
Hell yeah.
As a
Come here,
support,
boy.
that's the first support that has a heavy attack.
Nope.
No, it's a raid, Magnum.
That's funny.
But okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get into some shoutouts. So, Sync, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going on, and stuff and things like that.
So yeah, if you don't know already, do my YouTube. My channel is called Gundam Gameplays. Not gonna be doing too much. Obviously, wait until next week. Do the weekly update. See if I like the suit. If I don't like the suit, I probably won't get it. So you probably won't hear from me. But like maybe I do get it if it's anything good, and obviously I'll let you know if it's top tier or not. Maybe show you, a little bit of tips and tricks and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all from me. Also, thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man. You got a shout out to you guys because you guys are literally the only people that are doing a podcast that's actually interesting.
Man, thank you so much.
Damn.
It's so glad to hear that from somebody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, Gustav, what do you got going on?
All right. Well then, Gustav _X_I over here on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Still trying to do some other stuff on the side, but currently doing Nier Replicant as our secondary game while also doing Gundam Battle Operation 2 every fucking day. Still trying to train up and do some more stuff for clan matches that will be coming up next week. Have 2 clans, GS3, which is our competitive clan, and GKN, which is our casual one. I'll probably have the commands and stuff later on. But besides that, kind of have my fingers crossed that we'll hear some more other content for other games. There's a lot of other shit that I want to play in the future, but we'll have to see how that turns out. In the meantime, we'll be doing more VODs over on YouTube and trying to keep the content flowing everywhere else. So hopefully I'll see you guys around when I stream next.
Yep, and I'm GamingEmblem. Stream mainly on Twitch, twitch.tv/GamingEmblem. Those have been around, probably more know me by Gaming Who, but still playing. Oh gosh, man, I'm too tired for this now. Still playing Battle Operation, of course. We're also doing Super Robot Wars GC. It's actually kind of funny, Magnum. I was glancing at the unit list while we were talking during the podcast, and you can get the Dryson in GC, so I'll definitely have to use it. I got to meta smash everybody in Super Robot Wars too, but yeah, we play GC, and we're also pending with a playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne and Judgment from the Yakuza verse, that we'll say as well. You can check that out at our channel. The internet, video games, fun, Gaming Emblem. Wow.
And as always, everybody's links and stuff will be down in the description below. And real quick, thanks for coming on, Sync. It was really awesome. We definitely went pretty ham. Just a little bit.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm EG Magnum. Yes, I'm also tired. Exactly what Emblem said. Stuff and things. I got a Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube channel, stuff like that. Gonna be doing just dailies and stuff when I can. Still pretty busy. Probably gonna be doing just the normal Wednesday and Thursday stuff, so the podcast and banner night and tabletop, whatnot, at 6 p.m. on Wednesday and Eastern, and of course banner time, community matches and whatnot, and then the podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, other than that, upcoming stuff later will be new Genesis for Phantasy Star Online 2. And yeah, once I get stuff in, I'm gonna be back to too many games for sure. But yeah.
Too many games.
So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought about what we talked about and all that and all the stuff and things. But anyway, guys,
Oh my God.
words are hard. Words are hard tonight. But anyway, that'll be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
Later.
I was pointing down below when you said down below, Matt.
Yeah, I know, right? I was doing all the things.
Brad,
I actually
did.
I actually did peace. I actually did peace and everything. I was like, oh my gosh.